Pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Before I took some time off and you were over. All right, the whole house got the funk, huh?
It was a domino effect.
Yeah.
Lasted about 2 weeks.
So I told JJ, I'm like, there was no way he was standing. He thinks he's producing Clark's show this week. No, he's not. It's like
No.
you were down.
I was out.
Well, I'm glad you're well. Good holidays.
Excellent.
Good.
Excellent.
Good. You? Enough gifts for the 4-year-old.
Of course.
All right, we got a ton today, man, and so much to wrap up, and so much. Nothing's really off limits today as far as timelines. We'll go back over the last couple of weeks and go over what happened. We're going to go back to the NFL this weekend, and yes, we'll touch on the Cowboys gifting of that game from the Lions and the referees and the whole thing and everything, but. We're going to start with what happened last night because, JJ, we don't normally get two terrific games. And we got two terrific games. In Washington continues to stun me. And I think they're really good. I was talking to our buddy Ryan, who calls in a lot, he's the guy who runs around the country with the trophy, and he's a contributor to our show. And he was trying to convince me Washington was the best team in college football. And I'm like, gosh, I didn't think they could buy Oregon. They just win, dude. 10 straight wins under 10 points. They find ways to win close games, and you're going to tell me, well, at some point they're going to get clipped, and maybe they will, but maybe they won't. They just got to get through one more. Michael Penix Jr. is terrific. And then, when you start looking at what they are and say they may also have the best receiver in college football, and everybody's, well, I don't know, is that really right? Yeah. Odunze is really that good, 6 for 125, and then their defense held up when they needed to hold up. Washington's legit, man, and now they're playing for a national championship. And give Kalen DeBoer and the Huskies a ton of credit because they went through what I think most people believe, except unless you're an SEC loyalist. The Pac-12 was the best league this year. They were.
Yes, they were.
Top to bottom, they were the best league, and they got through that undefeated. They beat Oregon twice. And just beat back a good Texas team.
Well, Washington is the classic case of not winning by enough because that's 10 straight games that they've won by 9 points or less.
That's crazy.
But that's a credit to how good the conference is as opposed to just blowing out some bad teams at the end of the season.
Playing Indiana, playing Northwest, right.
And Washington didn't do that, so there wasn't a lot of belief in that team. But they kept finding a way. And that was the talk with Washington going in is they know how to win the close games. They find a way to win the close games. And you look at yesterday, another close game, but I felt still overall Washington was a better football team.
Did you feel they were going to win
sides.
down the stretch?
I did. I thought that was too much. Quinn Ewers is not my cup of tea. He's a flipper. He doesn't throw a lot of darts. He doesn't throw a lot of big-time passes, and they were going to need just another fade in the end zone.
But it just felt like every break was going their way, right?
Stopping the clock at 50.
Yeah, right? And so basically it saved him, like they were saying, 38 seconds or whatever it was. Then you get the penalty on the kick. They gave him another 15 yards. Then you get the long play, and it's like, holy smokes. They're going to pull this one right out of their lower crevice. And a terrific play by the defensive back on the last play. Because I felt Washington was the better team the whole way. If you were listening to the game and they're sitting there telling you, Washington's dominating. They were. And then they had to hold on, and that's what they do, which is a bit of a concern because, look, we're going to get into Michigan. They could have just as easily lost that game. They didn't. They held on. They found a way to win. Penix went for 430 yesterday, 430 yards. He is, what are they? Mel Kiper's got him fourth on the board, whatever it is. This is, you look down, Penix, Bo Nix, you look fourth, fifth, sixth, guys down the list.
Really interesting guys, the Heisman Trophy candidates.
Yes.
Jaden Daniels is in that same conversation.
He's at third. Yeah.
And Penix, 6 years in college football, has overcome multiple injuries, but you see the zip, the throws that he makes, players that he has. Well, I am very excited for this matchup. I think a lot of people had it the other way. I think it was Bama, Texas,
Yeah,
and
I did.
in so many people's minds, but you watch yesterday and you see that. Michigan, they backed it up. That defense was legit. And then, Washington, offensively and defensively, it's good units. And I know at the end, everything was going Texas's way, but Washington controlled a lot of that game, and that was really impressive.
Yeah. All right. 505-246-0610 is how to get to us today. Love to hear from you. It's been a minute since we've all been together, so let's get together. 505-246-0610 is the text line and the phone line. Emails are coming in. Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com. JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. Watch the show. We're on Comcast Channel 26, on our Facebook page, the OD and the AM, and on ProView Network's YouTube channel. Adrian's producing for you on the visual medium, so you can get it there as well. The other game was great, too. Overtime. And it was Michigan in look, I just thought it was Alabama just because it's always Alabama, right? And this is one of those where until somebody beats them, and I know it's been 3 years in a row that they haven't won, I kept watching them stick around and figuring, all right, there's going to be a way that they get there. Jalen Milroe was not great. J.J. McCarthy was good, but it was Blake Corum who had the big run in overtime and got him there. The defenses were both terrific. I mean, you look at total yards for Michigan, and you're going, wow. I mean, that's just not what happens to Michigan in the college football playoff. They had 288 total yards. The defense for Michigan was really good. And then when it came down to it, Blake Corum made a play. The defense made a play. And you're going to have to walk me through the Jalen Milroe on 4th and goal with 3 yards to go with the season on the line. Now I did see an analysis where the right defensive end, so the left of the quarterback crashes, and he was supposed to read that, pull that, and go, and he would have walked in. And I can almost see that.
On what?
On the last play. On the very.
There was no one in the backfield with him.
Right. No. So there was nowhere to pull.
Yeah.
That he was supposed to go wide, but he slipped, went right up the gut, and you're just going, what are we doing? We called 3 timeouts, had all that conversation, and that's what we came up with?
It was a poor play call. It was, you're just running your quarterback.
Yeah, I guess he could have gone wide.
If he went wide, he was tackled.
Yeah, he was gone. There was nowhere to go. No, there was nowhere to go.
Yeah, that was just
There was nowhere to go.
We always talk about the end of the game. Give your best player an option. There was no option.
There was no option. It was
You
right
had a
into wall,
quarterback sneak on
300-pound
4th and goal,
men. Yeah.
and it's not a 1 yard push situation or anything along those lines. There was nothing for him to do.
And with all the timeouts, with all that, it was, what are we doing? Do you know what? And this is on a much smaller scale, but this is my world. Remember the BYU SMU New Mexico Bowl a year ago when it went down 8 seconds to go and SMU scored, and they called all this time. Each team called a timeout, and they ran 3 trips wide, and they ran Mordecai right up the middle. And we're all going, wait, well, that's what we did? All these timeouts to run your quarterback right into a wall of 300-plus pound men? Well, I don't understand it, but that's literally what happened. Did you get an explanation? Because I didn't hear something on why what the play call was.
Sure, we can find on this one.
Yeah, I just didn't. I mean, it just was something to me. All right, let's go. 505-246-0610. We're going to get into the NFL. Boy, we got 1 week left, and the NFL was really good, too. We want to hear your thoughts on the bowl games. Liberty yesterday got out to a 6-0 lead in the VRBO, or is it Verbo? Liberty Bowl. I'm sorry, Fiesta Bowl, and then got run out of the built.
It was nice yesterday because you can get things done before the semifinal games.
Because the early games weren't that compelling?
Because Iowa, of course, doesn't score a point.
Ever.
That's the case for eliminating divisions in, like, everything.
Because they...
It's like Iowa wins, gets the Big Ten championship game, does nothing ever.
Iowa ended up 10-4. And I can't remember last time they scored a point. I mean, like, literally, they 0 last week, 0 the week before, 10-13, 0-7, 10-6, 14-16, 0-10, and 13. And they won 10 freaking games, and the most points they scored all year It's crazy. It was like 20. It's bonkers. All right, let's go. Phone line. John, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hello, John.
Hello, how are you this morning?
Good. What's
Happy
happening?
New Year.
Happy New Year.
Hey, so I began to notice that some of these bowl games, I don't think the scores were respective of what the team was about, because it seemed as though, I don't know the rules, but it sounds like the rules for the portal are as soon as you, I guess, pull the trigger and go into it, you're off the team. And I'm kind of curious of the one-loss records of these bowls, how many teams were missing key players or a substantial amount, because clearly
Many of them.
many of them did. I mean, I didn't realize that New Mexico State was losing, 4 of their starters?
Yeah, they were down a bunch of receivers when they got here. You look at the poster child. This is Florida State. I mean, that was disgusting.
Yeah.
What happened in that game? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The portal. JJ,
I want to know, do you think the portal's going to change?
Well, I don't know that
the
portal,
rules?
here's the issue on John. The issue on the portal is, where are you going to put it? Because if they transfer, you want them in school by the next semester, and the next semester starts, this week or next week. And so, how do you move the portal out of bowl season, right? I think we'd all love the portal to be moved outside of bowl season. But when the next semester starts and they have to be enrolled in school, right? If they're going to transfer to whatever and they've got to be in by January 8th, how do you move it out of bowl season? And it's a real issue that everybody in our industry is trying to figure out, because it's affected everybody and everything. So it's a huge issue, John. And I'm not sure what the answer is, but I appreciate the call, because it's a real concern. I mean, you guys, I don't know how much time you spent on Georgia and Florida State in the Orange Bowl. Maybe the
None.
first 10 minutes, and then you realize what we're watching. I mean, honestly, but that should have been, could have been, would have been, if it was in the playoff, a tremendous football game. I think they lost by 60, dude, and it wasn't that close. But John brings up an issue that everybody that likes college football is talking about. What do you do? And the answer seems so simple to push the portal back, but there's the school component.
Well, and I think that's one where athletics and the university system can work together.
Okay.
And because you understand this, the world of college athletics is so different. And so many of these student athletes are already doing things differently at the end of the year because of bowl games and athletic
Are they taking finals?
expectations
Yeah.
that I'm sure you could work it out with the university. Be like, hey, this football player is going to enroll 2 weeks after the semester starts, but we'll figure it out.
Okay.
Like it's you have
I'm
to
all
have
for
those
that.
conversations at that level, because the fallback is, well, the transfer portal is open December 4th, closes January 3rd. Of course, it's going to decimate both
Let me ask you
systems.
this, because I think, John, if you enter the portal, you're not automatically off, right? It's the coach's
It's
discretion.
up to the head coach.
Right? The coach can say, well, you're in the portal, you're out. And we heard Bronco Mendenhall say that's typically his policy when he was with us a few weeks ago. Danny Gonzalez certainly was that way. If you're into the portal, that's cool. Good luck to you. But you want to be gone, be gone. Some coaches will let you, as they try to re-recruit you, right? They'll let you stick around.
I think with Bronco Mendenhall being a first-year coach, it's different.
Well, he changed it this year. He gave it a 2-week grace period, right?
Just want to get to know those players.
Right.
But in situations where you're getting ready to prepare for a bowl game and you enter the transfer portal, that is why we saw so many opt-outs, because coach is like, okay, see ya.
Yeah.
And we'll figure it out without you.
All right, when we get back on the topic of transfer portal, a pretty big name locally, had a terrific high school career, was a big recruit for the Lobos at quarterback, is in the portal. That came out yesterday. What that means for that young man and for the position, because I know the former staff felt they were pretty set at quarterback moving forward, and this young man was going to be a big piece of that. That's coming up next, and we're going to get into the NFL, and boy, do we have a big final week coming up. It's the opening drive. Glad you're with us. Happy New Year. It's 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday night football.
How wrestling.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action find it on ProView Networks.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready.
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Big one to talk about tonight. Lobos open up conference play against, what are they now, 13th ranked, 15th ranked? How high did Colorado State get? It's going to play this one of the biggest games, seriously, of the week. 13th ranked Colorado State. So we'll talk with Kenny about that. It's a big one tonight. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, and DC. Welcome in. 505-246-0610. All right. So, JJ, when Aiden Armenta out of La Cueva signed with UNM, I thought it was a good get. I'm a big fan of the way he throws the ball. We didn't get to see him play a lot. You and I stood there in the final scrimmage of fall camp last year and watched him play, and we're really impressed with his growth, right? The way he threw the ball. He had a big day that day at that scrimmage. In the stadium, I thought he moved so much better out of the pocket than he did, early in his senior year. And former coach Danny Gonzalez was saying, we're pretty set in that room. And there was one point early in the year where he said, maybe we don't recruit a quarterback. This was when he, assumed he was staying. With what you had coming back with Tab Scott and with
they need some depth in that room.
Well, obviously they do. Yeah,
they have just. DC Tab Scott would be, I guess, the backup right now.
That's right.
Isaiah Chavez is still listed. He's not.
Right. That's not.
He's a good teammate at this point in time. He's not a competition for quarterback. Devin Dampier is.
He's the quarterback.
It's the quarterback.
But depending what comes in with Bronco staff.
Yeah, and that's true. They could like someone else. I think Devin Dampier sticking around as the incumbent is. I
guess Justin Holiday's still here too.
Justin Holiday is still here, but Aiden Armenta. He ran the scout team the entire season.
Mm-hmm. And by every account, we got better and better.
He got a lot of reps throwing the football, running the scout team stuff for the starting defense for New Mexico. And I liked the path ahead for Aiden Armenta. And sometimes these things, new offensive coaches come in. Maybe you're not seeing eye to eye. Who knows the decision? But this one, yeah, it was a bummer because I thought there was a good future for him developing as someone that maybe gets a shot down the line.
Yeah, I think he might have. Well, not might have. I think he had a real good chance to be the number 2 quarterback next year. A real good chance. And if you just, for those of you who don't recall, I mean, in his senior year at La Cueva, he threw for 50 touchdowns, 5-0, for over 4,300 yards, and just had a terrific senior year. So I'll watch and see where he goes. I'm a big fan of Aiden and the family, and just as the young man, and I really like the quarterback that he was becoming. So we'll watch that. But we were talking about the portal going in, and boy, that's certainly something. All right, what a weekend in the NFL, huh? What a weekend in the NFL. I mean, maybe Jarrett Stidham's the answer. We have not gotten into your boy Russ and the money-saving, cost-cutting measures of your Denver Broncos. I'm not sure. I think that's the biggest story. But this came down this morning, and again, take it for what it is, because the Niners will have a week off after this week. They've already clinched the number 1 spot in the NFC, home field advantage all the way through. They play the Rams on Sunday to close out the season, and Christian McCaffrey is out. He will not play against the Rams. Mild strain of his right calf, so he'll have 2 weeks to heal that. I guess I'm not overly concerned, because this game is a rest 'em game anyway, and then you get the bye week. So the Rams have already clinched a playoff spot thanks to Seattle getting beat by Pittsburgh. Something to be concerned about. I mean, anytime the guy that I think is right there at the top of the MVP conversation with Lamar Jackson is out, I think it's an issue. But
with Christian McCaffrey, absolutely.
Yeah.
Been here, done that. And
I agree with that.
To get to this point of the season and everything being so good for Christian McCaffrey, banged up a little bit in the Browns game. You go back, missed into that one, but he has been an MVP player, as you just mentioned. And for San Francisco, there's got to be a little bit of concern. There just has to be. With a mild calf strain, you get 2 weeks. You'd feel better if you heard a mild ankle sprain than a mild calf strain right now for Christian McCaffrey. But I think this is where you see that Brock Purdy is more than just the guy that needs Christian McCaffrey. The run game is going to be good. Yeah, they take a hit having to go to Elijah Mitchell and the other players, but if Christian McCaffrey isn't there, this is still the best team in the NFC.
Yeah, I think that's right. If he's not there, I think it opens it up, though. If you want to say they're still the best team, fine, I'll buy that. After watching what the Eagles did the other day, after watching what's happened with the Cowboys over the last couple of weeks, to me, all of a sudden it becomes wide open. And I think Cowboy fans are going, oh, look at us. I mean, we got the referees on our side. They don't know who reports. We got the Lions. I mean,
you're still going to have to go on the road to beat that team.
To go beat the Cowboys now.
And to go beat the 49ers.
Oh, yeah. The Cowboys will, yes. Assuming that they're still there, yeah. Take me back. I want to think of some of the worst losses, right? And I'm thinking about from the Lions' perspective. And you can tell me it was a great win, the Cowboys won, and all right, good for you, and you won the game, and you get the win, and you're in first place, and the Eagles lost, and all that stuff's right. The Lions felt like they had a play drawn up. They said that they told the officiating crew before the game that this was coming, that who was going to be the guy eligible, like everything. And then, what was the referee's first name? Allen was his last name. Is it Dennis Allen? Whatever.
Brad Allen.
Brad Allen. Somehow gets confused, looks at the wrong guy. I mean, all the video shows you they did everything right, doesn't it? You don't think so? I saw your face back there. So you don't think they did everything right? I mean, 68 went to the referee and says reporting.
70 went.
Well, they both were there. 68 absolutely went. 68 absolutely went over there. Absolutely.
They did so much to confuse Dallas, they confused the referee.
You didn't think 68 went to the referee?
On the video they showed after the play, he didn't.
Absolutely,
unless there's
he
something
did.
else that I haven't seen.
There was a high video. 70 was over there, but 68 absolutely went over there and reported.
I'd have to see that again because the video I saw didn't.
Okay, yeah, let's find that because absolutely. I mean, I watched it. 1,000 times it felt like, and you're sitting there just going, "What on earth?" Is there a tougher loss at the end of the game this year? I mean, there's been some tough ones that you're scratching your head, but can you think of one? And something that meant so much because that's a seeding line in the playoffs. If those two teams have to play now, they got to go to Dallas.
Yeah, you look at it, and it's a bad mistake, and it sucks for the Detroit Lions for it to end that way. And then you get into the point of two wrongs don't make a right, but that's sport math in this one. And now Dallas is complaining about the missed tripping call that should have been on the Lions, but it was on the Cowboys that pushed them back when they were inside the red zone a few minutes earlier in the fourth quarter. And that's what happens. It was a missed call by the referees. They got it wrong at the end of the game. It stinks for Detroit. But that's one of the ones that you don't feel better after the fact, but you still had a chance to win the game. You just had to line up and do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's after that play, they had the interception that was called back, and then they had another try. So
yeah, they did. They had the two more tries, right?
Yeah, they had plenty of opportunity. I don't feel bad for the Lions at all.
Really?
Well, when it's an outright mistake by the referees.
I mean, here's a still picture of 68 right there, right there with Brad Allen. I mean, he's right there. 70's there as well, but and there's 58. I mean, I don't know what more he could have done. That one. I mean, look, Cowboy fan, you got away with it and you got out of it and you beat a good team. Feel better? But that was to me, that was one of those where, wow, what a great play. They dialed up a great play. And I see no explanation. I've watched it a million times. I see no explanation how that could be right. To your point, DC, right? They did have two more shots, and they didn't get it done. They didn't get it done. The first one was an interception, but there was a penalty, and then they got it back, and they failed. But holy smokes, I look at that whole thing, and I just, what are we doing? All right, when we come back, can we get into your Broncos situation? Did you guys talk about it last week at all?
Yes, we did.
Where's Russell Wilson going? Or is he done? And does he care? Because he's going to make a whole lot of money. And is Jarrett Stidham really the guy? I mean, come on now. Maybe that's where Michael Penix goes. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night, Monday night, and Thursday night football.
Brought to you by White.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Rosendo Najar here, President of Carpenters Local 1319. Juan Junior Gonzalez, Warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does. The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready.
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, My tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
The few things still to be determined, but not the top seeds. The Ravens will be the top seed in the AFC, and it'll be the Niners in the NFC. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, DC. We're here for you at 505-246-0610. That's how to get here via text line or through the phone. 505-246-0610. Jim, you want to get in on those Lions? Hello, Jim.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good. What's happening?
Oh, as a Lions fan, I think I probably know all the ins and outs of what happened there. The reality is the confusion was designed as part of the play. Penny Sewell, number 58, and Taylor Decker, who caught the pass, number 68, both went to the ref when it was time to report. And Taylor Decker said afterwards he reported. At the same time, number 70, Skipper, he's running from the sidelines. He had previously reported a number of different plays.
A number of times, yes. Yeah.
Yes, but that doesn't mean he was reporting that.
Correct.
And it is part of the confusion to confuse the Cowboys to not know who might be eligible, who might not, who might be going out for a pass. And it was Taylor Decker, obviously.
Yep.
And then Penny Sewell also lined up wide as well. So he was out. He was an eligible receiver, but did not have to report. Skipper he said he didn't say a single word to the referee. So anyone that's saying it's half Detroit's fault is wrong. Okay, because they did everything exactly the way it was done. They Campbell talked to the entire crew, telling what the play was before the game, and individually with Brad Allen. So it is what it is. Okay, it's not the Cowboys' fault. And the reality is, had it counted, which it should have, the Cowboys still had 23 seconds left,
and
2 timeouts, yes, and probably one of the best kickers in the league.
Yes.
So the game wasn't over. They could have they needed to get 35 yards to kick a 60-yarder, which that guy can do. So
doing regularly.
It wasn't over, but the opportunity to win was certainly taken away from the Lions.
I appreciate that. Great perspective.
I've said my piece.
Thank you, Jim. All right. See, I mean, I think he's right on every account. I think he's right from everything I've heard. And this is one of those where I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. In the week away, I kind of stepped away, and it was not horrible.
You have to.
But this was one where I watched the game and I ate up everything afterwards because I needed to hear it.
You needed to understand it.
Yes.
You needed to know what was missed there, because initially, right on the broadcast, there wasn't talk of.
No, they were talking about
it wasn't talk of he announced and it's a mistake on the referees. It was he was ineligible anyway because he was a left tackle covered, and so that was their immediate thing. Well, they would have thrown a flag anyway, and so. Just a lot of people watching, you come away confused after that. You do. Because then it's like, you can Google all you want, but then you got to open up try to find that PDF of the NFL rulebook. No one knows the hell we're reading when we get to that point in time. So you're just trying to figure out, okay, what was it? And if he reports as eligible, they run the play, they go. And it was a mistake. The refs got it wrong. There you go. But the frustrating thing where I understand how if you're a Lions fan, that's going to eat at you it's not just that they had a chance to do it again. It's if these teams meet up again, you have to go there because of this.
That's what makes it so big.
That's what changes everything.
That's what makes it so big. I go back to calls, and there's been bad calls. Rams got in the Super Bowl because of a bad call against the Saints, and a bad call that changed the rules for you. Remember, you were able to challenge non-calls on pass interference, right? And what people forget after that non-call that should have been, right? They went to overtime. Drew Brees got the ball first and threw an interception for the Rams to go kick the field goal to get to the Super Bowl. So there's so many things that happened after. So DC, you're right. they did have chances afterwards, and there would have been 20-something seconds left, and the Cowboys would have had the ball, and Dak would have had 2 timeouts to go 35 yards to get Brandon Aubrey an opportunity to kick a field goal. So, yes. But all that said and done does not erase what he just said. Everything I've seen, 68 reports, and he's right there. And if what they're saying is right, that they alerted the referees pregame and let them know what was happening and who was going to happen, and all the video shows. They flailed. That was a failure by the officiating crew. They missed it, and look, it happens. I always go back. The Rams one's the one I always.
And that's the one where the communication has to be clear, because if you go over there, if you tell the refs pregame, but at that point you've gone through an entire game. It's the fourth quarter. Like, you're not going to initially remember. Oh yeah, you're this. 68 is reporting for this exact play, so that's why you have to be clear. I know you're trying to.
So what's clear enough?
Make sure that all the dudes that are over there trying to confuse it.
Reporting.
The referee, Decker, whatever he does, has to be clear. And I know he's over there, but it's the whole. Yeah, you told him pregame, but make sure. I know you're trying to confuse the Cowboys, running everyone over there. It was clear, and that's where I still go with the lines. I'm like, you were there. You had those players standing around the referee. You covered all your bases.
No, yeah, but because I've never done it. Like, I don't know what's clear enough. Like, do I have to say, hey, 68 reporting? Do you just have to say reporting? I don't know what the process is. It seems so incredibly informal and vague.
Because they announce everyone who's eligible.
Right. So doesn't it feel informal and vague to you?
So and it's also, if you're the Lions, and there's so much you want, you're in a loud stadium, you have your headset on as coaches, the communication, because you heard 70, Portland's eligible.
Previously.
And no one was like, he only said 70, but did they think that, well, I went over there and I reported, he didn't announce me, but
so
we're
good. What do you do at that point? Do you stand up and wait, no, dude.
Because then that could ruin the play after the fact.
Right. So what do you do?
So much.
Speech, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Speech. Happy New Year.
Hey, Jeff.
What's going on, man?
I got a question. JJ brought up a good point. I don't know. JJ said they announced who was eligible. Now, I didn't hear it. Now, I'm just saying all 3 guys ran over there. So, does 70 say I'm eligible and 68 say I'm not eligible?
Yeah, then I think that's where the confusion is, Speech, and that's what we're just talking about. 70 might have just been there for visual confusion, but 68's the one who said I'm eligible, and the referee thought he saw 70 because 70 had done it so many other times. There's got to be a better way to do this, and I don't know what it is.
Well, either way, the refs have to announce it, and I didn't hear any announcement. Now, JJ said he did.
Yeah, I didn't hear it, but we never. I'm not going to tell you. Normally on the broadcast we do. Sometimes the play-by-play guy will say, "Hey, 68 just reported eligible." Sometimes not, and I guess the referee does announce it over the PA on his mic. But either way, he flat out missed it. They missed it.
Okay.
All right. Good to hear you, man. Take care.
Okay, thanks.
Text line says the wide receiver covered him, thus making him ineligible regardless of the reporting. And that was really close, man. Was he on the line or was he off? You got to look at it and say the wide receiver, depending on your interpretation, was off the line of scrimmage and did not cover him. I know it looks like he does.
When you're running that play, it is a matter of inches.
Yeah, 100%. All right, 505-246-0610. That was what, Saturday? That was, but that's as big of a play as happened in the NFL this weekend, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Right now, it's the number 2 and number 3 seeds in the NFC.
It flips it. It flips it. All right,
and why that's also not just the fact of if these teams meet up, because if things hold. If you're the Lions, you get to host Matthew Stafford and the Rams, as opposed to, hey, maybe we get to play the Packers again.
100% right. Well, that's 100% what's coming at you. And Matthew Stafford going back to that building,
sign me up.
And if I'm the Rams, would I rather play Cowboys on the road or the Lions on the road? I'm not sure what the answer is, but the whole Goff. I mean, Goff's going to be just as fired up now to play the Rams as Stafford is to play the Lions, right?
Yeah, and if I'm Stafford, I'm looking at that Lions secondary going, whew.
That's right. Give me some Puka
and Cooper after CeeDee Lamb was
how about DeMarcus
227?
Robinson's
He's come on the last 2 weeks.
Number 3 guy over the last 3 weeks, and they had drops. Like the Rams did everything they could to give that game away the other day. Another punt return. Special teams in the college game and in the pro game. Special teams was brutal in the 2 games yesterday. And the Rams special teams, they lost the Baltimore game. Everybody talks about how Baltimore's blown everybody out. They have, except for who? The Rams. The Rams took them to overtime and lost on a punt return in overtime. And then the Rams gave up another punt return to the Giants. Giants missed the 2-point conversion. And then the Rams still had to hold on and watch a field goal go wide at the end to hold on and beat the Giants. Rams better figure out how to play in the fourth quarter. They got a real problem. Now, they're pretty good in first and second and part of the third. But they got a real problem. Now, they'll play the Niners, whatever happens this week, and maybe go to Detroit, which, by the way, Matthew Stafford going back to Detroit in a playoff game? I mean, tell me you're not signed up for that.
I'm signed up.
Against
I'm on the
Jared
waiting
Goff?
list.
Like, that's, thank you. Oh, it's scripted. The NFL's scripted. Told you it's scripted. All right.
Well, they know what they're doing.
Well, because they do it really well. I want to get into this Broncos thing, and we'll split it between now and the other side of this break, and then we'll do Red Zone at 8:00. You good with that? When you first heard that Sean Payton was benching him, look, they won. See, he was right. Jared Stidham had 224 yards, and they beat the crappy Chargers.
There was nothing right about watching that game and going, "Yep, Jared Stidham, immediate upgrade from Russell Wilson."
You could have stopped it. There was nothing right about watching that game. I mean, period. That was it was painful. It's hard for me to sit here and feel sorry for Russell Wilson because what's he getting? 35 million guaranteed. 36
Still getting
million?
a very good chunk of change.
And the business decision, if it comes to now, I got a little bit of a problem. If hey man, don't tell anyone, but we're going to bench you if you don't waive your clause. No, man, you gave me that clause. Why would I waive that
I have
clause?
a huge problem with that.
With what?
Threatening a bench a player who doesn't adjust the contract
that's what I'm
you
saying.
gave him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. But by the same token, from a business standpoint, if this is where you are, and I got to give him $36 million more if he gets hurt, and we're not winning, and I'm benching him, and does it save me $36 million, and I could spread out the cap hit and save my team for the next couple of years? It might not be the wrong business decision. Are you guys there with that?
They messed it up.
Of
And
course they
Sean
did.
Payton and the fact that the NFLPA is going to get involved because you don't do this. You don't threaten to bench a player if they don't adjust the contract. You can go to a player and say, hey, let's have a conversation about what to do this. And there's too much out there for me to think that Russell Wilson's camp is making this up. No, I'm pretty sure that they're like, hey, we're going to bench you. We're going to bench you if you don't change your injury guarantee.
They didn't upon the initial threat, right?
They didn't upon the initial threat because they were actually started winning football games.
Yeah.
And they beat Kansas City and they beat Buffalo over that stretch. We've watched Derek Carr get benched at the end of last season. If they benched Russell Wilson the last 2 weeks, no one would care at this point in time. But that's the way they did it, which worries me if I'm a Broncos fan. Because that's bad organization. That's clown show stuff. I'll say it again. I said it last week about Sean Payton. He went out of his way to throw Russell Wilson under the bus the last few weeks. Not just, coaches yell at players, but he made it a statement that when Russell Wilson got to that sideline, if a drive didn't go well, if he made a mistake, he made it known that I am yelling at you and you alone on this sideline more than anyone else.
And look, Russell Wilson.
And this is a pattern for Sean Payton. He came in clowning on Nathaniel Hackett. Let us do that. Let the fans do that. You don't do that. And what happened? You lost to the Jets in that game. And you go on, you figure something out, you find the best way for this team to compete. We know there's a ceiling of Russell Wilson in this offense. But then the stuff that's coming out and you're threatening your quarterback to bench him, whether it's Sean Payton or the front office. Of course, Sean Payton knows what the heck is going on. He can't talk himself out of this one. Like, no NFL
just talk
player.
to the front office, it's not me.
Yeah, no NFL player should ever adjust or take away an injury guarantee in a contract. It's simple as that.
Right now, they're going to pick somewhere in the middle, right? I mean, am I looking at is this where Bo Nix, Michael Penix goes?
Not in the first round.
You don't think so? At 14 right now, you don't think they take a shot there? I mean, you got to believe Russell Wilson's out of the picture, right?
Yes, they're done with Russell.
So Jarrett Stidham, or I'm not going Michael Penix, Bo Nix. I mean,
they're in the conversation. Absolutely, they are.
LSU,
Jaden Daniels
is there. Then you do, yeah.
And of course, possibility trade up.
Yeah.
So,
all right, if you're there, stay there. I'm late for this break, but I do want to hear what you have to say. I know you want to keep this on the Bronx. I got some more thoughts on the way this went down, and it's hard to be sympathetic for Russell Wilson, but it's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night, Monday night, and Thursday night football.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Santa Paws has left thousands of holiday gifts for your furry, scaly, and winged family members. Pick up a gift for a pet lover or even a new pet. Clark's has shelves full of pet beds, sweaters, Toys and treats, habitats, and tanks galore. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's is celebrating 50 years. Thanks to you, the Christmas Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
Russell Wilson, what do they do going forward at 505-246-0610? Look, Russ has been a hard guy to feel bad for, right? I don't know if you feel bad for him in this situation. I mean, Russ does a lot of this to himself. You're shaking your head. You feel bad for him?
Not in the slightest.
Yeah.
Where did you hear that he got threatened?
From him.
That's right.
Right.
Do you believe everything Russell Wilson's
Never
said?
have, right?
So why are we believing it now?
Because nobody's denying it.
Well, this is going to be a court case. It's going to be a battle with the NFLPA.
So do you believe that they said that to him, or do you think he's making it up?
Well, here, let's try this. Hey, Russ, things aren't going so great. You got this injury clause.
No.
Can we take a look at this? I don't know. Okay, well, I mean, we might be in a position where we have to bench you because this is kind of a weird thing. Oh, I don't know. I don't want to do it. Is that a threat? No. But if I run off to the NFLPA and say, oh, they threatened to bench me.
No, certainly do. I mean, semantics is going to play a part in this, how it was said.
No, I think the Broncos are holding their tongues because they don't need to speak right now.
Fair enough.
They're going to play it out appropriately in the offseason. I'm just so done with Russell Wilson.
Well, I mean, I told you preseason you should have been done with Russell Wilson.
I said that.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson hasn't played well, but if he did this, if he makes this up,
he's done.
It's wild.
Yeah,
like it's done.
But he's done some wild,
why do you think it's okay?
No,
to approach an NFL player by his injury guarantee, regardless if there's a threat or not.
So we don't know
that.
All right, so take your scenario.
So he's just making everything up.
So take your scenario. Hey, Russ, so we got this situation. Can we talk about this? And he says no. Should be the end of the conversation, right? I got a contract, man. I got a contract with the franchise. No. Let's see what Tony says. Tony, you're a Bronco fan. What's up, Tony?
Good morning, gentlemen. How you guys doing?
Good, man. What's up?
Good. Hey, so I don't feel bad for Russ, but I will say this: if he was lighting the stat sheets up, 6 status, this would never have been even brought up. Winning, and was he playing well? He was playing better, but I mean, and yeah, I know his stats are. They just don't wow anybody. But here's my biggest concern is this: Russ is somewhat liked throughout the NFL. How is this going to affect pending free agents? You know, them possibly signing with Denver. Well, if they did Russ like this, what's to stop them from doing
I think
like
when the truth comes out, and this is where DC is going, Tony. I think when the truth comes out, then we'll see how it affects it. Because DC's saying they're not saying anything because they got nothing they need to say. They know the truth. Russ is saying what Russ is saying. Let's see how this plays out. Would it affect it? I don't know. If they're going to pay me, then I'm going to go. I mean, we're all going where we're going to get paid. But if I've got a choice,
you know what? These guys are millionaires, and you know, sometimes, yeah, you know, the money, I get it and all that, but you know, if it's a difference between a couple million and you don't got to go through stuff like this, are you going to take those couple extra million, or you know what I mean?
What your
What's
situation
the difference?
is.
You know, you're getting paid $20 million, and someone offers you $22 million. But if you're happier at $20 million, you know what I mean?
No, at that level,
and
I don't know the difference.
For us, $2 million is big. Yes, I get it. But for a guy that already has $60-70 million in the bank, $2 million don't really mean much.
Yeah, then I don't have to go through that crap if I don't want to. Yes,
Exactly.
and if that in fact is how it plays out, I think DC's got a point. I want to see how this plays out when the other side says something.
Well, we'll see. You guys have yourselves a great day and a happy New Year there to y'all.
Merry New Year. See you. So to your point, I want to go back to it because I'll play because we don't know. It's a scenario. So how does the conversation go?
Well, I mean, they had just beaten the Chiefs, so
That's right.
they had 2 wins at that point, and they're looking at it like, okay, we got to make a move because you have to understand, Sean Payton with Jarrett Stidham wanted to have like a 9 or 10 game sample size. He did not want 2 games. He wanted to see if he really had a guy or not.
In Jarrett Stidham?
Yes. In Jarrett Stidham.
Okay.
That is correct.
So you think he was actually thinking Jarrett Stidham was his guy going forward? We're going to get rid of Russ, and Jarrett Stidham's going to be my guy.
He knew Russ wasn't his guy.
I think that's right.
That's what
I think that's right.
And he wanted to find out if Jarrett Stidham was the guy. He saw something at the end of the Raiders season. He liked it. He wanted to see if he could build on it.
All right. So
then why didn't you just bench him?
Yeah. I mean,
because they had just beaten the Chiefs. And it was in a position that he had guaranteed ownership that he would try and work with Wilson. And that's what happened.
So it's hard to convince ownership, hey, yeah, Russ just beat the Chiefs. Didn't just beat the
basically had his best
Giants.
game as Bronco.
And how do I bench him now? So you think he was all right. So the conversation goes like what? How does it go?
The conversation goes like this. You just beat the Chiefs. We'll keep you in there, but this injury clause puts us in a very bad position. This is a $70 million plus clause.
Yep.
We need to adjust this if you want to continue being our starter.
How is that not so? If I say no,
okay?
So how is that any different? I mean, that's just a nicer way of saying
you play in the NFL. We don't want to guarantee you money if you get hurt.
Yeah, but how's that not a nicer way of just saying fix the clause or I'm benching you? If you want, you said we need to adjust this if you want to remain the starter.
It's just a nicer. It's an ongoing business.
So Russ says no.
Business is not telling an NFL player to remove injury guarantees from their contract.
Because players hold out all the time. But it's business on his side too to say, well, no.
Right. And it's a negotiation.
But I already negotiated my contract when we did this. Talk to my agent, but I've already negotiated this contract.
But they renegotiated also.
Yeah,
so
they do.
So if you've already renegotiated,
so where is it in?
So are you
Russell
okay
Wilson?
if Baltimore went to Lamar Jackson and said the same thing today?
It's such a different scenario. You're talking about a team that's already clinched the playoff position.
And who knows
it's about an
NFL
forward. Player saying, "Hey, you can get hurt playing this game, but we don't want to guarantee any money in the contract."
But again, we don't know that that's the conversation.
We don't.
So.
But in that scenario, how is it in Russ's interest to say, you know what? Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Let me give you back potentially give you back $35 million.
It could be seen as good faith. It could be seen as being a team player. I mean, is it in his interest? No, probably not. But
like you're saying, it's business, man. It's business on his side too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if they came to him and said, the way you said it, all nice and soft like that, and he said, yeah, no, we're still in the same place, right?
Essentially,
it's still kind of the same conversation, right? Depending on, I mean, they said the same thing in different language. It's gonna be interesting. Want to do Red Zone when we get back?
I think we should.
It's probably because of the Russell Wilson contract, we have to now pretend that Jarrett Stidham is going to be a good quarterback,
or at least Sean Payton does.
Yeah.
It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM at AM 610. The Sports Animal. You're home for Sunday night, Monday night, Thursday night football, and the Super Bowl.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready.
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
D in the AM with three-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
We'll talk some hoops at 9 o'clock. Kicking it with Kenny. Kenny Thomas is going to be here. Lobos and Colorado State open up. I mean, what a great game to open up conference play tonight. Text line asked, big night for Lobo basketball. Any word on injury report? Washington, Dent sat for Eastern. Need them both tonight. Have you heard anything? It feels like
it's True was under the weather, and Dent was. They're playing anyone else other than Eastern New Mexico who's playing.
Did I say Washington? It says Washington right here.
Well, both of them didn't play.
Yeah. No, I thought I said Eastern Washington, but I didn't. It just says Eastern. All right.
True Washington.
Right. I got it. And Eastern New Mexico.
And Eastern New Mexico.
True that. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, DC. Let's go. We got 1 week to go in the regular season of the National Football League. And there's still quite a bit to be decided. Let's enter the red zone.
How much you want to make a bet I can throw a football over the mountains?
Are you crazy? I'm saying you're a football player.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to Tom Brady this game.
You're in the red zone with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Let's go, baby!
It's first and goal.
All right, well, the band has not been together in a minute, so let's reset with this Week 18 whip around. There's 9 teams in, 5 spots left. Let's take a look at playoff scenarios, schedules, who's in, who's out, and things to watch for. Let's start out with the AFC and NFC North.
All right, so I got to believe the Bills are going to beat Miami. And I don't know why I got to believe that. I just believe there's so much on the line for them that if it gets down to it. So I know that's not the North, but what that means is I think Pittsburgh's out, even if they beat Baltimore. And I don't know who Baltimore's going to play. They're going to start Mason Rudolph. So I think in the AFC North, it's Baltimore and Cleveland. Baltimore with the 1 seed, Cleveland with the 5. And then in the NFC, would you ask me, the NFC North, I think it's Detroit. What's the scenario, the tiebreaker between Green Bay, Seattle, and New Orleans? Do you know?
Green Bay right now has a tiebreak over Seattle based on strength of victory.
So if they win, they're in.
And win a tiebreak over New Orleans based on best win percentage in conference.
So Green Bay wins and they're in. I think Green Bay gets in. I think they beat Chicago. I think Jordan Love. I mean, we could have a conversation later. Is he the quarterback of the future? But I think they beat the Bears and gets them in the playoffs. And Aaron Rodgers is in the playoffs, huh? I'm just saying.
Yeah, for the AFC North, it's all eyes on the Pittsburgh Steelers playing that game against Baltimore, where you have to believe Baltimore maybe a series or two, and then you get your guys out. Especially knowing what can happen, because we'll talk about the Dolphins losing their pass rusher because Vic Fangio thought Bradley Chubb needed to be in the final 3 minutes of a fourth quarter of a blowout game. So that sets up favorably for the Steelers, even with Mason Rudolph, because they just won a good road game. That's a tough cross-country trip, going in there playing the way they did against Seattle. And the Packers, I am with you. They get it done. Jordan Love, I thought was phenomenal last weekend. And there's life for Justin Fields. Him and DJ Moore looking good over the last couple weeks, but the Packers get it done on Sunday.
2nd and goal.
Ready, down, put.
All right, and we'll continue this whip around with the AFC and NFC East.
With the AFC East, the thing about the Buffalo Bills is how wild this weekend could be. So Sunday Night Football is Buffalo and Miami. And by the time that game kicks off, all of the scenarios are going to be locked in. So if the Steelers and Jaguars win and the Texans-Colts game does not end in a tie, it's all or nothing for Buffalo, which is just a crazy situation. Yep. That means they win, they go to the playoffs. If they lose, they do not go at all. A team that we've been flirting with over the last couple weeks as being maybe a top 2 team, a top 3 team in the AFC, but they could be sitting there because of the struggles they had early in the season with a win or go home game on Sunday Night Football.
I think they win it. And so I think AFC East, I think the Bills get in. So I think it'll be the Bills as the champions and the Dolphins is the wild card. And in the NFC East, I mean, I think both the Eagles, man, how about the Eagles struggling right now?
That's what it's about. Cowboys, Eagles are going to the playoffs.
Yeah, but I think Cowboys take care of business and win the division.
3rd and goal.
All right, now let's take a trip down south with the AFC and NFC South.
So, kind of crazy with this Jacksonville thing, because I think we all thought going in this was easy, one of our easiest picks. Bad division, Jacksonville wins, and they're going to win this division. And all of a sudden, if they lose and the Colts win, then or the Texans win, Jacksonville may not be in the playoffs even. I think Jacksonville wins. I think they go to Tennessee and they beat the Titans. Now, I don't think it's easy. I like the way Will Levis has been playing. If he plays, hell, it's Ryan Tannehill half the time anyway. The other side of this is who gets in Houston or the Colts. And the game is in Indianapolis. Who do you like better? Do you like the C.J. Stroud story, rookie? Do you like Gardner Minshew, the rejuvenation? And there's some more teams, JJ. Win and they could be division champs. Lose and they could be out completely. I think I like Houston over the Colts this week. And in the NFC, all right, just gave you the NFC. So they're didn't I? NFC South. Oh no. It's Tampa Bay or New Orleans. What's the tiebreaker situation there?
So right now, Tampa Bay wins the tiebreak over New Orleans based on best win percentage in common game. That's why the Buccaneers are holding on to number 4 in the NFC.
And Tampa Bay closes out at home against the Panthers, and they win, and Baker Mayfield gets them in the playoffs.
I believe Tampa Bay bounces back. Now, the Derek Carr over the last 4 games has looked like a real-life quarterback. Mm-hmm. And Dennis Allen was talking about the head coach of the Saints, about how he's healthy, the offense is looking good. Big-time performance. Race out to a 20-0 lead over the Buccaneers on Sunday. But you're going against the Panthers, and the Buccaneers are going to win that game and win the division.
4th and goal.
Did I stutter? Beer me.
All right, finally, the AFC and NFC West.
We close it out with the easiest ones, right? San Francisco wins it. The Rams are in. Seattle may win, but they're not going to get in because Green Bay wins. And the Chiefs are in, and nobody else is in, right?
Yeah, it's Seattle, holding out hope that Packers can lose that game and they can jump up and be the 7th seed. But we're locked in with San Francisco and the Rams, and the juicy storyline that could be a first-round matchup with Matthew Stafford, Super Bowl champ Matthew Stafford, going back to Detroit to try to knock off the Lions, and the hype of winning the division for the first time in 30 years, being an 11-win team, could be a 12-win team when it's all said and done when the playoffs start, which is just a fantastic storyline. And you bring up the AFC West, and the question is it too late for the Kansas City Chiefs? They're 10-6, but to me, watching this team, they haven't figured out
how to catch the ball.
Well, who they are. Because they're not explosive. They're not the team that's putting up 35, 40 points in a game. I liked what they did on Sunday. It was a ugly game, but that's who they need to be, is beat Isaiah Pacheco, see if Patrick Mahomes can make some plays, because his dudes are not making plays on the outside. They're not. And play close football. That's a step in the right direction. I know people probably don't feel that, but it's because they're starting to understand, hey, we can't be a team that goes downfield. We can't do that right now.
And the difference is they got a good enough defense to do it. And that's why they can grind it with you. That's why they can get dirty with you. That's why they can play a game like that with you, where maybe in the past they couldn't. I'm not going to count them out because they still have that guy. I agree with you that they can run the ball. At some point, Marcus Valdes-Scantling is going to stop dropping balls, right? I think. They still have Travis Kelce. I like the development of Rashee Rice. And I think Patrick Mahomes is going to keep putting balls on guys, and at some point they're going to catch the ball. Right now, would I pick them to win the Super Bowl out of the AFC? I would not. But would it just stun me if they get to the Super Bowl? It will not. Also, they've got a magician at quarterback. They've got a good enough defense. I'm not going to tell you, I think they got the best defense in the AFC. They got a good enough defense to make some noise. They've won before. They've got a veteran coach who we think is one of the best in the league. And I'm not counting them out. Are you?
No, it'd be foolish to count them out. And it's funny because we talk about them not having weapons, but when you see Rashee Rice running free, you see they can be explosive.
He's been the guy been on all year on that,
absolutely,
right?
Absolutely.
Just because he was on the cover of the New Mexico Bowl program last year, that's why. No, that's not why.
No.
Who's your coach of the year? Is it easy, Kevin Stefanski? I mean, he went through 4 quarterbacks. He's got Joe Flacco playing like Joe Flacco that won a Super Bowl. Or who else do you like?
I like Sean McVay.
I was just going to throw that name at you. Okay, do you like Sean McVay on this? I was watching the Rams the other day.
The Rams look scary
on the plane, and I don't know if I think they look scary. They look scary in the fourth quarter, which scares Rams fans. But he's turned a team that was 3-6 at the break
into a playoff team
who looked horrible. You guys, they were horrible, and they're a playoff team. And I don't think they're scary like people are saying. Oh, nobody wants to play the Rams. I don't know that I think that's right, but he's done a hell of a job with them, hasn't he?
Absolutely. Yeah, he's earned a spot in that conversation. And I understand Stefanski's done some things, but like you said, turning around a 3-6 team to a playoff run, that's insane.
What if Sean McDermott wins if the Bills come back and win the AFC North? You know, he went through all the crap he went through with his comments that he got beat up for, right? They had a horrible start. Or do you just say, man, you should never have been in that position?
I feel more, man, you should never have been in that position.
No, that's fair. It's totally fair.
The 3-6 comment, it's a reminder, because I've been higher on the Rams than a lot of people, because I'm like, they have Matthew Stafford at quarterback. He's a good quarterback.
Yeah.
They were bad last year because he was hurt. But coming off that 3-game losing streak and to bounce back,
and they beat
I think
teams,
that's a really good point of him in the conversation. I still, even being 3-6, I still look at what Cleveland did.
Yeah. Yeah,
there's 4 different quarterbacks, and then Joe Flacco off the scrap heap.
Well, and who they were, right? You start with Deshaun Watson. Did he start the season? He did, right? And then it was DTR, and it was P.J. Walker.
Well, and you lost Nick Chubb.
And now you found Joe Flacco, who, I mean, for crying out loud, dude. Joe Flacco probably won some dudes their fantasy leagues.
Yeah, he probably did.
I promise you.
Because of Amari Cooper's game, at least got you to the championship game.
Yeah, it's been sensational. All right, we'll open up the phone lines again at 505-246-0610. If you want to get in on any of the NFL stuff, on the college football from yesterday, which was fantastic, Kenny Thomas is going to be here. We'll kick it with Kenny at 9 o'clock and get into that big Lobo game tonight, man. It's what a way to open up conference play. Lobos and CSU, 13th ranked Colorado State. And we're going to get into, with Kenny, looking at the league. And as conference play starts and you look back now on what San Diego State, did you guys get in? When? Oh, you didn't, right? Was it Friday night?
Yeah, it was Friday night.
We haven't got into what San Diego State did at Gonzaga the other night either. Big win for the league. So we get all that's on the table for you. But when we get back, who's your coach of the year? Is it? And I got another name I got to throw in there. And you're going to go, huh? Well, yeah, I guess. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal, not only your home for Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday night football, but also your home for Super Bowl 58.
This report.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Like it, maybe you will. Coach of the year in the National Football League. I think, is Lamar one MVP? I mean, Lamar Jackson's pretty much one MVP now, right?
Yes.
Okay. Coach of the year. They finished this thing off. Is Mike McCarthy in consideration? Dallas Cowboys, Mike McCarthy. I know nobody likes Mike McCarthy. Doughy, silly, not great, soundbite, not, Mike McCarthy, he's only won one Super Bowl. He's got, but if they win, and they end up, 12-5, they get the 2 seed, Now, nobody's talking about Shanahan. All they did is just roll through. They had a 3-game losing streak, but whatever. I mean, he should be up there. Harbaugh should be up there, too.
These are all subjective.
Yes.
And how do you view this award in the conversation? Are you a guy that you're fine with, hey, you're the best, you lived up to the hype, you beat everyone, you should be in contention for that award?
Or
are you more along the lines of going with how the NFL has voted on it? Looking at, Brian Daboll last year got Coach of the Year because he won 9 games.
Or why Stefanski's going to win.
Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
Like, are you more along those lines when it comes to the Coach of the Year? Because mine, I would put Dan Campbell ahead of Mike McCarthy.
Okay.
If we're looking at,
I think that's another really good name.
Teams like that, but I look at more.
But why? Dan Campbell's team's going to finish behind Mike McCarthy's team. Dan Campbell, you can argue, had
they could both be 12-5.
Yeah, but one's going to finish 2nd seed and one's going to finish 3rd seed, right? Mm-hmm. One got a really nice call from the officials. I don't know if you recall us talking about that, Dan. But okay, I
won a division title for the first time in 30 years.
Look, and I don't totally disagree with you. And I like Dan Campbell better than Mike McCarthy, as everybody does, because he's more likable, right? There's a personality to it. But I mean, look, McCarthy's not my guy I would vote for. I just want to throw another name into the mix. Do you guys?
Well, yeah. Then if you say Mike McCarthy, then you can say Mike McDaniel, and go on. And
who beat McCarthy? Yeah. All right. So is Stefanski your guy? He's kind of my guy.
He's my number one.
Yeah. You too? He's going to win it.
He probably will. Yeah.
And he was almost ready to get fired. Remember? He's on the hot seat. And all of a sudden, Joe Flacco saved his ass.
It's funny how that works.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So McCarthy, McVay, 1-2.
The thing with McCarthy is the road record. Right now it's 3-5. If they win, they're 4-5. They just can't win on the road.
That's fair.
So
yeah,
that'd be the hit on him.
I'm not sure I believe in what I'm saying right there. I just want to throw a name.
No, for argument's sake, I mean, the 12-win team. You got to look at the coach. It's obviously doing
how come
right.
We're not?
Shane Steichen, Indianapolis.
That's
they win 10 games.
You know what? That's a great one.
D'Amico Ryans, if they win 10 games.
D'Amico Ryans out of nowhere.
Hmm?
Yeah, D'Amico Ryans is a rookie coach with a rookie quarterback.
Turning around a team.
And they may win the division.
Ooh, if they win that division, it'd be
if they win and Jacksonville loses, they win the division. With a rookie coach and a rookie quarterback and throwaway year.
It's a pretty strong argument.
How come nobody's talking about the 2-1 seeds?
Because we assumed they'd be the ones, I guess.
Nobody assumed Baltimore. Well, that's not fair. We didn't. I don't think many of us assumed Baltimore would be the one. Did we?
I think we all thought they'd be
Buffalo, Kansas City, Cincinnati.
I mean, we assumed they'd be among the top, didn't we?
We assumed they'd be good, but I don't know if you think back to August, right? We're all looking Kansas City, Buffalo, the Jets.
The Jets. That's an afterthought,
right?
Preseason I really liked the Ravens, so
You did.
I just there's something about that team that's special.
So they've got this history of having a great defense, and the defense became really good as the season went on. Lamar stayed healthy, and it felt like got better. They ran the ball. They stayed relatively healthy at running back, which they never do, right? They were just consistent.
They lost a top tight end, too.
They lost one of the best tight ends in the league.
It's because Lamar Jackson is a better quarterback.
MVP. I mean, you got the MVP. That's...
Well, not he's better than his first MVP season. Because if you watch Lamar Jackson play, you understood Lamar Jackson is still one of the best athletes on the field as a quarterback, and he'd do his thing. Boom, first, second read's not there. He's taking off. He's not doing that now, and that's what makes Baltimore so dangerous. Is Lamar? He'll get out of the pocket, but his eyes are still downfield. He's a throw-first quarterback that is athletic. He has evolved as an ultimate playmaker in this game, and it's evident when you watch the San Francisco game. What they did, even go back to the second half of the Jaguars game, because you see an evolution of Lamar Jackson. It's patient, it's controlled, things are not that early. He's not just running the entire game. He's going to make plays downfield. What they did against San Francisco on Christmas night was phenomenal. Lamar Jackson, a big-time playmaker, and coming out and just destroying Miami. And because there was a point in that game when Lamar Jackson had thrown 4 touchdown passes on 15 completions. The efficiency is unbelievable for him in the offense.
Has there ever been a team in the NFL that gave up 50 plus and scored 70 in this. The answer's got to be no, because 70's only been scored 3 times, right? Scored 70 in one game and gave up 56 in another. The answer's got to be no, because 70's only been done 3 times, right? That's insanity. They've won 10 of their last 11. They've beaten in that 10 of 11. Their one loss was the Browns. They lost by 2. But they beat the Lions. They beat the Rams, the Jaguars, the Niners, the Dolphins. They've been on a pretty good stretch. The Bengals were in there when the Bengals were still contending. Seahawks were still contending. They throttled them. Yeah, they're good, man. And Harbaugh should be considered as well. Coach of the Year is a tough one. And I think, a lot of times it always is. You always have the where'd they come from team, and then the team that was there the whole time, and do you give that guy any credit? Well, I mean, they should have been there anyway. And so, yeah, they should be. I think you got a lot of candidates. Stefanski, Campbell, Harbaugh, Shanahan, McVay, all of them. And then look at the AFC South, because we thought that was a throwaway division. It was all Jacksonville. And if DeMeco Ryans and or Shane Steichen, right? That's Houston or Indianapolis. If the winner of that game is going to be a 10-win team, and if they get through and Jacksonville lose, they're going to win that division.
So a team has scored 70 and given up 50. The 1950 Rams gave up 56 in Week 4 against the Eagles, and they scored 70 on Week 6 against the Colts. They also scored 65 the week after against the Lions.
Norm Van Brocklin and the Rams back in the day. So the first team since the 1950 Rams. There you go. 73 years ago. Remember those Rams teams back in the day? Did they ram it back then?
That was pre-ram it. That was pre-ram it.
Yes. Before Eric Dickerson was swiveling his hips at Anaheim Stadium and ramming it. All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Emails Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com and JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. On the Twitter or X, whatever you like to call it, you can find JJ at _JJ Buck. And on the Facebook, the OD and the AM, watch the show. We're visually on the medium there on Comcast Channel 26. Kenny Thomas is going to be with us at 9 o'clock this morning. And we'll kick it with Kenny, talk about a big Lobo game tonight, man. This is, what a way to start the season, the conference season. This is one of those national attention games tonight. So we'll get into that with Kenny when we get back, or when we hit him at 9 o'clock. When we get back, Puka's got a record chase. We just went back to the 1950 Rams. Let's talk about a Ram and go back to 1960 and what Puka Nacua is doing, and can he do it? We'll do that when we come back. Hey, winter is supposed to hit hard this week. You're busy. How's your car looking? Take care of it and call my friends over at On the Spot Automotive Detailing. They will take care of you and your vehicle wherever and whenever you want them to be there. What does that even mean? Jeff, you say it all the time. Wherever, whenever it's convenient. What it sounds like. When you have time or when you don't, they come to the office. You're busy. You're in the office. You got a couple hours. You're working. They will be in the parking lot or they will be out in your driveway and they detail your vehicle. What does that mean, detail your vehicle? Remember the day you took it off the lot? Remember how fun it was to be in your car? How nice it was? How clean it was? How great it smelled? That's what the car dealerships do. That's what On the Spot Automotive Detailing does for you, and they do it better than anybody else. Awarded Best of the City for 2023 because they are reliable. They are efficient. They're the best when it comes to what they do, and the best part is that they will do it where it's convenient and when it's convenient for you. Give them a call, figure out the time, and actually just go online. Schedule there, and you can buy there. It's otsdetailing.com. It's all right there for you. Ask them about paint protection films, ceramic coating, so much more, window tinting. otsdetailing.com. Brought to you.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby
born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burquia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rosendo Najar here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Receiver named Bill Gorman of the Houston Oilers. You all remember Bill Gorman? Bill Gorman had 1,473 receiving yards as a rookie. 63 years later, It's a Ram, Puka Nacua, who's trying to get better than that. 14:45, that means he's about 28 yards shy. So he needs 29 yards on Sunday against the Niners. And Puka Nacua will have the new record now. Nacua would have played 17 games, and Gorman would have played 14. So if you want to put an asterisk by it, you may. I don't think Puka Nacua nor anybody else will have a problem. So, offensive rookie of the year. Is it easy? C.J. Stroud, Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams?
Well, he's not a rookie. He's a second-year player.
Kyron Williams is a second-year player. That's right, yes.
It got a lot closer. Unfortunately for CJ, due to the injury that kept them out 2 games. I think it was for sure CJ Stroud. But you missed a couple games, that changes things. And with the way Puka Nacua has continued to play, if he sets a record, like I would be legit.
If CJ Stroud wins the division?
Even I would legit be looking at that sheet.
Oh.
Like if I had to send in my vote, I'd just flip-flopping. Because they are both worthy offensive rookie of the year.
Both been just terrific. No, both been terrific. All right, 505-246-0610. That's how to get here. Kenny Thomas going to be with us, kicking it with Kenny at 9 o'clock. Big one for the Lobos tonight in Fort Collins to open up Mountain West play. One of the biggest games in the country this week. 13th ranked Colorado State. Lobos just outside the rankings. Rudy, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hello, Rudy.
Good morning. Well, I think I finally got my heart rate down to normal after that game last night.
Crazy, huh? Big Michigan win.
Wow. One of the biggest. And who would have thought that the way to do it was to put Milroe under intense pressure? But that's what I said before the game. Can't let that kid get comfortable. And Michigan made him uncomfortable all night. And then with the game on the line, Alabama didn't get 1 inch, did they?
No, because they ran Milroe right into a wall of 300-pound dudes. I mean, a ridiculous call, but no, they didn't get it 1 inch with the game on the line. No.
Yeah, I don't know what the call was. I don't know if it was a blown call. I don't know if by then Alabama couldn't think, but congratulations. And I might have to figure out a way to sneak down to Houston. Switching gears, boy, that Detroit-Dallas game, it almost reminded me of WWE wrestling there at the end. You know, you win, you lose. No, you win, you lose. Here, give the belt to somebody else. Right. But I guess that's pro football, and I guess that's the way the breaks go. I just can't figure out why Decker would walk over to a referee to do anything but check in, but I guess that's for another time. And then finally tonight, been waiting for this game now for 3 weeks, and this is where UNM has to go out there and play like they did when they beat San Diego State on their home court. That's the same type of effort. And who knows, I think this is the best defensive team I've seen in a while at UNM. So if you're going to win, you're going to win with your defense. You're going to win by disrupting CSU and running as many guys at Isaiah Stevens as you can. I think that's the game plan.
It's tonight's going to be special. Another late one tonight, but it'll be special tonight. Thanks, Rudy. Appreciate you.
Yep.
To me, the biggest difference this year, there's two. And JJ, for Lobo basketball, I know you and I have talked about the difference of the front court, right? There's different front court players. What Morris Udeze and Josiah Alec were last year were very, very good. This is a different good. But to me, I think they've been so much better defensively, not just on the interior, but on the perimeter. Now, when you get into conference play, when you start seeing the guards that Nevada's got, when you start seeing Isaiah Stevens tonight, who, if you haven't watched him yet, you're going to see legitimately one of the best guards in the country tonight in Isaiah Stevens. And I know Lobo fans go, we got two. You do. This isn't more than one thing can be true, right? Your guys can be really good and so can theirs. And that's what's the story tonight. But I thought perimeter-wise, defensively, non-conference, they've been a lot better. Now, let's see what happens when they're going against the length that Nevada's got, against Isaiah Stevens, against Butler and what San Diego State's got, and San Diego State with that big win against Gonzaga, another huge win for the league the other night. You got 5 teams in the top, I think it's 40 of the net rankings right now in the Mountain West Conference. The bottom of the league struggling a little bit, but the top of this league is really, really good.
The top is good. And for New Mexico, this is the potential to be your best one in the season to this point.
Well, not even potential. This would be the best
the best one of the season to this point. But it's one where you look at the top, and you're going to have to win one of these games, you want to be an at-large team, let alone win the conference. And, for me, a lot of my conversation starts with thinking about at-large resumes first. But this is a team that talent-wise should be in the conversation. Even with what Colorado State has done, they beat Creighton, who was a top 10 team at the time in the conference. San Diego State going into Gonzaga and winning that game. Yeah, those are marquee victories, and they're going to be ahead. But when they get to conference play, the Lobos deserve to be in that conversation for conference contenders. And if you can get a game on the road, you're going to have to win one of these to win the conference.
This would be, when you say potentially, I mean, this is their best win of the season so far if they get it. Not only would it be against the 13th ranked team in the country or the 15th net rank, it's a road win, a true road win, quad one road win. This would go, this is the one you didn't have last year, right? You had the St. Mary's win last year. This is, well, you had one. You had the St. Mary's win. This is, and I guess you did win at San Diego State last year, right? So this is what that is. Now, they faded down the stretch, and that's why they didn't get in. These are the kind that put you over the top. When the committee, when we're sitting around here in March and going, well, what about the resume? Well, you got this win. They don't have a bad loss. They don't. St. Mary's wasn't a great loss as it's going, but it's not a bad loss. This is the kind of win, a true road win over Colorado State, a San Diego State, and Nevada, that's going to go a long, long way.
It would. And if they do lose this game, well, then you got to hold serve at home. Yeah, this is the challenge. Like, whoever wins this conference is going to have to find a way, I think, to win, I think, 2 on the road against the top. How do you think it plays out?
Now, let me give you the top right now. So for those of you who haven't been following it, because we're starting conference play, Colorado State is 12-1, and they are 15 in net. Okay, and net is the metric that really, really matters. Okay, San Diego State is 11-2. After beating Gonzaga at Gonzaga, they moved up to 22 in net. Okay. Nevada, after winning the Diamond Head Classic, they went out to Hawaii and won the Diamond Head. They're 13-1. Okay, they are 34th net. New Mexico is 12-1. They are 36th, and Utah State is 38th. That is 5 teams in the top 40, and then you got Boise State at number 70. And after that, it drops down to like 123 and 129. So when you look at the top teams, the five teams at the top, they are 60-6, JJ. 60-6 going into conference play. I mean, and you don't have a team under 500. The worst record you have, you got UNLV at 6-5, and the San Jose State, Wyoming, and Fresno State at 7-6.
And for UNLV, they're 97 right now in KenPom.
123 in net.
But top 100 non-conference strength of schedule according to KenPom. So those are positive numbers. Those help elevate your conference when you don't have that drastic drop. The bottom of every conference is going to
And they beat Creighton too, by the way.
Bad numbers. But this now allows the Lobos' schedule to get better because that's going to be a big thing. Their strength of schedule is not great. So you get into conference play, and the fact that you have this many teams that have positive net rankings, that rises the tide for everyone.
It's a big one tonight, man. It's a big, big one tonight. Kenny Thomas is going to be with us coming up at 9 o'clock. We'll kick it with Kenny. We'll talk about that and what it all means and how Lobos come out of there with a win tonight, because that place is going to be going nuts. That place is going to go nuts up in Moby tonight. This is, students might not be there, but they got a small enough gym and they got enough going on there that this will be a big, 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 big deal. All right, when we come back, Saints marching in the right direction, and is it too late? Little NFL at the very top, and how do the Saints get in, or can they? And is Derek Carr the right guy to drive it? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal, your home for Sunday night, Monday night, and Thursday night football, and the Super Bowl.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a #1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
AM 610, the sports animal.
All right, we got to go 2 weeks back for the last three for all, and you weren't here. You were sick. Isaiah was in. You want to? I'll give you an opportunity. You want to claim Isaiah's picture? Or not? You said no. All right, he went 2-1. Would have helped you. he had went 2-1. So JJ, a couple weeks ago, you took Green Bay -5 over Carolina. That was a loser. They won by 2. You took Detroit -3.5 at Minnesota. That lost. And you took San Francisco, or that won. You took San Francisco -5.5 at Baltimore. And they got blew out. So you went 1-3. You are 16-24. I lost with Seattle at Tennessee. I lost with Washington +3 at the Jets, but I won. Or no, that's his. That's his. I lost on the Bengals and the Colts. I won on the Rams. I went 1-2. I'm 20-14 with 1 week left in the regular season. So I'm 20-14. JJ 16-24, and DC you're 15-21-1. It's hard, man.
It's hard for me. It's not so hard for you, though.
Well, I mean, I'm 6 above 500, so I would have made a couple of bucks, but it's not easy. It's not easy. All right, Saints stay in playoff contention. They got 3 wins in their past 4 games. Derek Carr's got 10 touchdowns, 2 interceptions the past 4 games. Only taken 5 sacks. He hasn't fumbled. JJ, in the first 12 games, he had 11 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, was sacked 24 times, turned the ball over. Too late for them?
It feels too late for the Saints. You're finally getting the cleaner version of what you thought the Saints were going to be with Derek Carr, the team we assumed was going to step in with the best quarterback in the division with the most pieces, and yet they're still in a situation where they're at the mercy of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And you know what? Todd Bowles, I'll throw your name in there, honorable mention, head coach, because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers potentially being a 9-8 division winner is not something we had on any of our bingo cards to start the season with Baker Mayfield. I think what this end of the season shows you is Derek Carr is coming back, and he's going to be the starting quarterback for the
I was just going there. So does he earn that to come back? Is he your guy next year?
I think New Orleans sees this stretch and goes, this is what we expected to be and can be, and they will not be on the quarterback carousel for next season.
All right, I'm going to run teams past you. Yay or nay, quarterback carousel next year. Different starting quarterback. New England.
Yes.
Jets. Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
Pittsburgh.
Kenny Pickett.
I'm not sure I buy that. And they're starting Mason Rudolph over a healthy Kenny Pickett this week. With the
I don't know
playoffs
how healthy he really is.
Well, they claim he's healthy. All right. Tennessee.
Will Levis.
So they got their guy. Denver. New quarterback.
Yes.
Raiders.
Yeah.
New quarterback, right? Giants. Daniel Dimes or new quarterback?
Daniel Jones.
Washington.
New quarterback.
Bears.
New quarterback. Caleb Williams.
They're going new quarterback too. I think so. Packers.
Jordan Love.
Vikings.
New quarterback.
Falcons.
New quarterback.
Saints, you say Derek Carr. Tampa Bay, Baker Mayfield saved his job? Yeah, I think so too. Arizona.
Kyler Murray.
Seattle.
Geno Smith.
All right, so you got 7 teams looking for a quarterback. You figure some of these move around. One of them is going to get Justin Fields. In that scenario, Justin Fields is one of those guys, right? Anybody else you see moving to be a starting quarterback? I don't. Russell Wilson? Is Russell Wilson somebody else's starting quarterback next year? He's not with the Broncos, so is he somebody else's starting quarterback next year?
Russell Wilson could be one of those ends up starting for
Atlanta?
a month, and then they go to whoever they drafted type of deal.
Atlanta's an interesting situation. I think JJ's right, though. I don't think he's someone's quarterback for the entire year, but I could see him starting as first 4 or 6 games.
So we just counted 7 teams that we think will have a different quarterback than they got right now, right? New England, Denver, the Raiders, Atlanta, Minnesota, the Bears, and Washington. So now you start going Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels. Where does Michael Penix or Bo Nix fit into this? Do they fit into this? He's one of those guys, like they almost feel like a Will Levis to me. That slips. Will Levis, who I think is going to be a quarterback in this league. I'm not telling you great. I think he's going to be a decent quarterback in this league. But I watch what Bo Nix and Michael Penix do. And there's something now to these older quarterbacks, right? These guys who come into the league at 24 instead of 19 or 20, right? That there's a trend going that way a little bit, isn't there? Who's Denver's? I mean, for Denver, who do you like? Because you think you go in the second round and find a Penix or a Nix?
I think they could absolutely be on the table at that point in time. Trading up because all the quarterbacks' values get pushed up. So you're talking mid round. These Caleb Williams, Drake May are the consensus top 2 picks.
Okay.
At the quarterback position, maybe not the top 2 picks in.
And you think the
draft.
Bears are going that way and they're getting rid of Justin Fields? Okay. And very well may.
And then you start pushing around. You fall in love with Daniels because that's the thing, right? It's Sean Payton. He's the quarterback whisperer, even though he's done nothing with quarterbacks his entire career. Actually, I look at this year a lot more positive with what Sean Payton and Russell Wilson did. I just think the way it's ending is a bad look for the franchise with these stories. Because Sean Payton did the unexpected. That was a competitive football team with Russell Wilson. And it's just a very questionable ending if the stories are true for the franchise.
All right, we're going to talk some hoops when we come back. It's a big day, man. Conference play opens tonight. It is the Lobos at Colorado State. 13th ranked Colorado State to open up league play. We're going to kick it with Kenny Thomas, former Lobo great, longtime star in the NBA. He's with us on Tuesdays and Fridays. Looking forward to saying Happy New Year to Kenny Thomas. Talk about the big Lobo game tonight and what's going on in the NBA because, well, there's a lot going on in the NBA as well. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday night and, well, all those football and the Super Bowl.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom. Boom.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Rosendo Najar here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions.
Good. I get to start my new year off with you guys.
And I'm actually here for one of these. It's like your 8th of these. I think it's our 2nd, you and me.
Yeah, man.
This is what I envisioned.
JJ been holding you down.
I know.
You've been holding it down.
No, I mean, I got
been having some fun, man.
I got no ever never have an issue when I'm gone. I know JJ holds it down. He's freaking great.
Come on, you don't get on the radio and listen sometimes?
I do sometimes on the app. Yeah, I do.
Okay,
I
cool.
do. You're really good, by the way.
Yeah, that app. Hey, man, I appreciate that. Remember how quiet and shy I was back in college?
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden, all this personality comes out.
So when I got here in '96, your sophomore year, right? And you didn't like talking, right? And you were a different dude back '96, '97, '98.
I was fatter.
You were what?
I was fatter.
Well, I mean, a little thicker. How about that? But you didn't like talking. Certainly, and I know the media was an obligation, a chore back in those days. But did you ever see like when did Kenny Thomas come out of his shell and become Kenny Thomas?
Man, the NBA is a different beast.
Yeah,
I think that.
But you went to Philly, right? I mean, you're looking at markets that you went to real media markets.
Yeah, I did. I mean, that's a great call. But you got to keep in mind, it started in Houston. Me and Steve Francis came in, so that's a huge market. But there was a time where we lost like 16, 18 games in a row. And then I get traded and I go with the great Larry Brown, Coach Larry Brown, in Philly. And then I'm on primetime TV with Allen Iverson all the time. And then I go to Sacramento, primetime TV with Mike Bibby and all those guys. I was always on TV like the second half of my career.
So you came out and kind of got comfortable, right?
I got comfortable, and then come on, man. When we grow up a little bit, you got to learn how to come out of that. And then he points at JJ.
No. We've had this conversation for so long about you watch, and I've been doing this now in this market for 27 plus years, and so to watch people grow up and mature. I mean, it's just the process, right? I knew you when you were 18, 19 years old, right out of high school. So your sophomore year, and now I'm watching you as a grown man, as a professional, as what you become, and it's the maturation process. When I tell you, and I know I've told you this, I'm so proud of what you've become because I remember you were Kenny. Look, you not only were you shy, you were angry back in the day.
I wasn't angry. I was just quiet.
Is that right?
I swear. I promise.
All right.
I mean, that quiet can get misconstrued and picked apart because I'm so big, I think.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
think so.
Yeah, I always felt that you felt that like you never got your due as a Lobo back in the day.
Well, no. What do you mean?
It's just like never were appreciated because you were on a team. You were the focal point of a team that went to 4 straight NCAA tournaments, that won a game in 4 straight NCAA tournaments, and I always felt that you felt, and maybe we've never had this conversation, that you never got your due for being.
No, I think I did, and I still do.
All right, then I stand corrected. Yeah.
It's a nice feeling to be able to be appreciated still to this day. Walking around town, people always want to take pictures. It's a blessing, man. I mean, I'm not even just talking about New Mexico. I go anywhere. The nice thing about basketball, we didn't wear helmets or anything, so the visibility is there. And like I told you, I was always on TV with those two teams. But man, I feel like I got a pretty good deal out of coming here, because if I would have went somewhere else, I could have gone to North Carolina. I don't know if you know this. I could have went to like North Carolina, UConn. Dean Smith was going to come have lunch with me, but I passed up on it and committed to New Mexico. Yeah, man, I was young.
That's when Taman Domzalski went to Duke, right? Right around the same time, right?
Yeah.
We had 3 New Mexico big guys coming out at the same time. Taman Domzalski, Kenny, and A.J. Bramlett, all at the same time.
And we played on the same AAU team since we were 12. So
you guys any good?
Oh, my God. At the age of 12, man, me and AJ was thin. AJ, if you hear me, don't get mad at me. And I'm going to be honest, I was a little fat butterball. And then you got Taman jumping all over the place like he was a grown man at the age of 12, 13. We were like, okay, well, we want to be like him. But next thing you know, it was a nice situation, because we thought Taman was going to be the guy to go to the NBA.
Yeah.
But me and AJ had the better careers. I don't even think Taman even stepped on the wood.
He didn't play a lot of Duke.
After Duke.
Yeah.
After Duke and at Duke.
Yeah.
But, man, New Mexico's been great to me, and still is. It would be nice to have a jersey, number 4 up there hanging in the building somewhere one of these days.
You know anybody?
Now, I know you.
I don't know if I'm a favorite over there these days. We'll see.
Likewise.
He's Kenny Thomas. We're kicking it with Kenny here on the Sports Animal.
You mentioned the evolution and growth. I think today for college athletes, I love the fact that they are getting the opportunity to do more, like with name, image, and likeness, all those things. Like, you need to learn to speak. You need to learn to put yourself out there. And I think programs themselves are also understanding that you don't need to hide your student athletes. Like, it's a positive to put your players
and build around them
out there and get their voices
I
out.
totally agree. And I don't think they've ever hidden them as far as being a player or student athlete, because they make a lot of money off of these athletes. And back in college, when I was in college, I was only getting like $400 a month on top of Pell Grant. And we couldn't work during the season. Now they get room and board, and they're getting way more money, and now they're making a couple $100,000.
What would Kenny Thomas have made in today's NIL?
Ooh, man.
And someone did text that in last week.
Oh, really?
They asked, what would Kenny Thomas do if the transfer portal was available?
What do I think?
I think I would have been an instant millionaire.
Yeah.
In Albuquerque?
Well, but okay, so you'd have to make a decision, right?
Yeah.
Right? You'd probably sign here out of high school.
I would have still stayed.
Would you have stayed if then Dean Smith calls that? I know you stiffed me for lunch. I want a green chili, but you didn't have any lunch with me. But come to Carolina, and here's $850,000 per year, and you're making $200,000 at New Mexico.
I think I would have stayed still.
Okay.
Because
you knew the money was coming later.
Not necessarily. I didn't.
Did you not?
Oh, no, man. I was happy to be in college because my family members didn't go to college. So the fact that my mom wanted me to go to college and this was an opportunity for me to get my education and better myself, I really do, still to this day at the age of 46, I feel like I would have still stayed because
I love that.
I had a high school game, man. High school championship game in the pit, 18,000 people. When I saw that, I'm like, why do I need to go anywhere? And then come here to UNM
every night.
18,000 every night. I don't care if we played Chico State.
I know.
We still had 18,000. It was standing room only. It was unreal.
JJ, that's when I first got here. I said it's worth it just because of this. It didn't matter if they were playing Chico State, West Texas A&M. It didn't 18 every night, and the pit was just rocking. He's Kenny Thomas, and he's with us. It's Kicking It with Kenny. Big one tonight, man. This is I don't know if people understand how good. I told JJ this, and he agrees. He's right. Isaiah Stevens is not just as good a guard as there is in the Mountain West. He's as good a guard as there is in America. And that's what Colorado State's got tonight. 13th ranked team in the country, 15th in the net. It's a hell of a way to open up conference play.
Man, are they 13th because of their record?
Well, and who they beat. They beat Creighton, and they keep winning.
Yeah. And then they just beat Adams State. Okay. So, and they beat them very convincingly by like 40, I think. But like you said, Isaiah, he's averaging like 18 points or something like that. It's going to be huge to see how the Lobos come out and start conference, especially playing on the road. We don't want to see the same situation that happened last year with Colorado State and a couple teams, especially when the Lobos got ranked.
So they've beaten Boston College, they've beaten Creighton, they've beaten Colorado, they've beaten Washington. Their one loss was 3 points to St. Mary's, who the Lobos. That's the one Lobo lost as well. JJ, they got a 6'8" transfer who's playing really well.
Now, Colorado State is the most surprising team to me because you knew Isaiah Stevens was good, but no one anticipated Colorado State being in contention at this point in time of conference contenders.
Why is
to
that?
start the season.
Why do you say that?
Well, it was the unknown. We know now of like the transfers that came in. You know, the big guy that you mentioned, and you see it. The evolution of what their coaching staff has been able to do, Nico Medved, adding pieces around Isaiah Stevens. But that's one of the things you have to expect and understand that in this day and age, teams get so much better.
Well, I mean, this is what they did. They got Patrick Cartier it was first team Division II All-America. He played at Hillside College in Michigan.
Gotcha.
And then they've got Joel Scott, who's a starting forward for them. He was the 2023 Division II Player of the Year at Black Hills State in South Dakota. So Nico Medved went out and found these guys who were playing at lower levels and turned them into players on a 13th ranked team in America.
Yeah, because that coach right now, he's in the top 4 right now, I think, when it comes to winning. So he's getting the job done. It's just a matter of the Lobos coming in and using Toppin and using those big guys in pick and rolls to where I've been trying to establish that more because you can't guard a pick and roll in transition. And especially the fact that if those guys are able to roll, it's going to open up for the perimeter and it's going to give the big man's opportunities to score too.
Kenny Thomas is with us. It's Kicking It with Kenny. Lobos in Colorado State tonight over on News Radio KKOB. It starts at 8:30, 8 o'clock pregame.
And one of the things we've been talking about too, Kenny, is getting Jamal Mashburn back into the fold. We saw him Friday night get back out there. It was good to see. And I liked what he had to say post-game because his mindset is everyone's going to say, well, there's only one basketball. You have Jalen House, Donovan Dent, Jamal Mashburn Jr. What are you going to do? Well, Mash said post-game, quote, you see in the NBA, they have so many lead guards playing on the same team, and it works. It works if you defend and rebound.
Yep.
That's what we're going to do.
Yep, and that's exactly what we were talking about when this guy was on vacation, right? as far as
tea time.
Hey, I'm jealous because I wasn't in California golfing with you. The fact that Mashburn has the right mindset coming back, he knows he's the guy. I feel like he's one of the best offensive players on that team, especially when he's doing what he does, mid-range, getting out and running the floor and being aggressive. He's a guy that also has to attack. And then on the other side, the three of them, House and Dent and Mashburn, being able to bring the ball up. I just see Dent and House bringing the ball up and Mash getting out and creating for himself.
Playing off the ball. Hey, you look around this league. So the top 5 teams in this league are combined 60 wins and 6 losses.
Yeah.
You've got 4 teams in the top 40.
Is it
30,
4 or 5?
5. I'm sorry, 5 in the top 40 of the net. Nevada went out and won the Diamond Head. San Diego State won at Gonzaga the other night, won convincingly. The league, the top of the league should be really fun.
Yeah, that San Diego State game, man.
Did you watch it?
No, I just saw it and I posted it in my story. I'm like, wow, this is great for the Mountain West Conference in general because there's not a lot of recognition, especially with the conference being the way it is, because it's not very often you get some big primetime players that's playing in the Mountain West. They go to the bigger conferences. It's just how it works. Like you said, that's one of the reasons why I came to the WAC back in the day because it was a conference that was growing, but we had some big, huge rivalry games with the Rio Grande. I mean, obviously the Rio Grande rivalry.
Really?
With
Utah games were big?
Utah. I felt like Utah was more of a rivalry than New Mexico State, even though I never won in Utah. But they came in here and we gave them a nice little run for the money.
Remember that the Andre Miller Royce Only game?
Oh, man.
He never touched him, did he?
No, he didn't.
No.
No, he didn't.
It's like Matt Holliday never touched home plate. Yeah, he did.
Yes, he did.
And then Royce going to step back and shoot the 3.
I'm going to tell you, and people always ask me, in 27, now 28 seasons of Lobo basketball, what games do you remember? And there's some games, and I remember the year they beat Nevada a few years ago, and they weren't very good, but that was a big game. People, that's the greatest win. I still go back to whether it was like 97, 98, 99, and Andre Miller, and was it Keith Van Horn on that team?
Yep, Doliak.
And that was the Royce Only, and you guys beat them. Andre Miller going to the bucket, and Royce defended him, hit a big shot. You guys beat them. That was, to me, my ultimate pit game. As a spectator, I remember sitting on the floor with a camera in my hand watching that. That was a special one.
Man, those games were unreal, especially from the standpoint of the crowd.
Yeah.
Our sixth man was
18,000.
It was so loud in there. It was. Let me tell you, man. Sometimes I have dreams about still playing.
Do you
in the
really?
pit. Oh yeah. Even
Really?
high school. Oh yeah.
I love that.
Man,
See, I got dreams about missing classes and having a final.
Waking up late.
Waking up late and have a final. You got way better dreams than I do.
I could never miss class. They were checking on us. I actually went to school. People probably don't think that, but I did.
I never
and
done that.
then people probably don't know this. I had to leave and go get ready for the draft, right? So I had to drop the second semester of my classes.
But
I came back and got my degree in 2019
did know
from UNM.
Yeah,
I
that I
could have
did
gotten it anywhere, but I wanted to come back and get it from here. Yeah.
Kenny Thomas is with us. We're going to continue to talk about big global game tonight. But when we come back, also, there was a historical losing streak that was snapped last week in the National Basketball Association. And I know you've been in that situation and you've been in those locker rooms. And I can't wait to hear Kenny's perspective on being in the NBA and being on one of those losing streaks and what it feels like to snap it. We're going to do that, kicking it with Kenny on The Sports Animal on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Murcia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Rosendo Najar here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
I didn't know that. I get this question all the time. More so JJ gets it. What happened to the post-game call-in show after Lobo basketball? Well, you know what happened?
Well, the winds went away for a little while. And then,
well, okay, here's what happened.
Thus, the fans went away.
So these late games, these 8:30 games, so they end at 10:30, 11. Rob does his post-game, get off the air at 11:30 at night, and JJ's sitting at that casino by the Downs, and it's him and the late...
the late crew out there.
The late crew, and nobody was calling in because Lobos weren't winning, and so the post-game show went away. But it's been revived from what I understand.
It is bad.
So it's you two are doing the post-game?
I'm filling in tonight.
Yeah, he's filling in tonight. Jared, your guy. He got somebody else. And I like the kid, so we'll see.
He got somebody else.
It's not one of you. It's not one of you guys. I know you can't.
Why can't I?
You're too busy.
Yeah, you don't want to come back here tonight.
I got a tea time tonight too.
I'm jealous. What is that VR tea time?
That's right. That's right. Kenny Thomas is in. We're kicking it with Kenny. All right. Who do you like tonight? Lobos win up there?
Come on, man.
So you got Lobos tonight? You got Lobos tonight?
If they come out and they play some good ball and share the ball and get up and down and play at a nice little tempo that they played down the state, I think it'll be good.
All right, so I said to JJ this, but I want to see as the competition gets better. To me, the biggest difference for Lobo basketball this year and last year has been defense, not just interior. Okay, and last year Morris Udeze and Josiah were good. You got different bigs. I thought the perimeter defense thus far this year has been better. Now, I want to see what happens when the competition gets better. When they play Isaiah Stevens and these guys, when they play Nevada's big backcourt, when they play the big physical backcourt of San Diego State. But do you agree with me that the difference has been the way they've defended, especially on the perimeter?
Yeah, the way we were raised, man, it's defense wins games.
Yeah.
I mean, the way that this league has transferred into offense deep behind the three-point line, it's a totally different game. And it does come down to the guards being able to stop the ball and put pressure on the other team's guards, because that takes away a lot. And then it takes away opportunities for other teams that do have bigs. That's not allowing the guards to be able to get comfortable. So I feel like you got to start playing defense. And I think when the Lobos are getting up and down in transition, I think they're way better, especially if they are undersized at the three guard positions.
I know last week I asked you about defense in the NBA, and you're like, "What's that?"
Right.
But how do you see it at the college level?
Defense?
Yes.
These kids are coming in young, and now they get an opportunity to make a lot of money while in college. And seeing guys like Steph Curry change the game from a standpoint of way behind the perimeter and doing certain things, I feel like these kids now in college are trying to mock NBA players, because obviously, what do they want to do? They want to get to the NBA. But you got to realize these scouts and NBA teams are seeing both sides of the floor. And you got to be able to do something that's going to stick out and give you an opportunity to be able to get into the NBA. Defense, these kids in the college probably don't realize that defense is a huge part of it, because there's some teams in the NBA that, like we said, there is no defense.
Does it start early, though? Is it like at the AAU level? And I used to coach AAU with a guy you knew Mike Danoff.
Yeah.
And Mike, we would take teams, Albuquerque teams, undersized teams, and we'd go win because we played defense, right? And I would watch all these incredibly talented AAU teams, and it was all about scoring and how many did he put up. Is defense a lost art? And there's always an exception, right? There's always the coach who teaches defense.
It is lost. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No.
It is lost. I feel like when I got to Philadelphia with Larry Brown, it was a whole different mindset. He was like, "Kenny, you're playing with Allen Iverson. Go out there and do things that you know you can do. Knock down shots, rebound, play defense." And even, you probably don't remember this, but I played with Keith Van Horn in Philly.
I didn't remember.
So whenever me and Keith were on, we were the 3 and the 4. Keith was more of a 3 because he was a shooter. He didn't want to bang, right? So I used to have to guard the better offensive guy. I'll say it. I used to have to guard the better offensive guy. So then I'm playing on the defensive end, and then I got to try and go get some points on the offensive end where I fit in.
You had to work.
Oh, man, I had to work when I was in.
Keith Van Horn had a nice shot, though, man. He was offensively, he was skilled.
I
He
hate
just didn't
that
play
guy.
defense.
I hate that guy.
Utah.
I hate Utah, man.
Wasn't there a shot in a WAC tournament where he put you down?
Yes. I was right there in the middle, and he was right there in the paint.
That was a dagger.
I was falling backwards, and Clayton feels like he got fouled. I know Clayton. Clayton Shields is probably going to be calling in on the postgame show, too. I'm going to get some of the guys.
Good.
But it was one of those things. Keith Van Horn, great white hype, man. We used to call him that.
He was he could ball, though. All right, Kenny Thomas is here. We're kicking it with Kenny. So last week, Detroit Pistons of the NBA snapped a 28-game losing streak. They won in Toronto. In fact, I was at the game in Oklahoma City where they started that losing streak.
No.
That was that one game.
So you were the
well, no, I was
reason.
the one that started. they're 3-30, Kenny.
Yeah.
You were just saying you were part of a team in the NBA that lost, 16, 17 in a row.
18, yeah, something like that.
And what's the mindset? Like Monty Williams is their coach. He's a good coach. He's had success in Phoenix.
Great coach.
And he kept saying, when we break through, we're going to break through. We've been close. But, man, you go out every day and you get beat. And then the weight of a losing streak, that's all anybody wants to talk to you about is a history of a losing streak. What's it like?
That's how it goes. And Monty, I played with Monty in Philadelphia,
Did you
too.
really?
Oh, yeah. He was you could tell Monty was that guy that was transitioning to the coach world. And you could tell because he's one of those guys that studies the game and he's a perfectionist and he's good at his craft. And the fact that he was able to go to Phoenix and do what he did in a short amount of time, he established himself as a primary coach. and a head coach. So why not go to Detroit? It's one of those guys. He's one of those guys to where he felt like he could come in and change the game for those guys in Detroit, and they're young. They're so young. But the most embarrassing part of it is that the rafters, the street got broken by the rafters, and the Raptors will go down in history being the team that let them win. But they just got to keep growing and keep climbing. It's kind of like the Sacramento Kings too. It's kind of the same boat.
How heavy does it get though? So you lose every night, and you're going out there, and man, you're proud. But now you're 3-30. You're not making the playoffs. What are you playing for? Are you playing just to win every night? You're playing because you're a pro. You're playing for your job. What?
Those last two things. You're a pro, and you're playing for your job. This is what you do for a living. You make millions of dollars, and the salary cap now is $136 million for 15 guys if you choose to have a 15 player roster.
137 million?
Back in the something like that. Back in the day, I think I was at like 55 million salary cap for like 14, 15 guys. So that means there's only like one guy, like an Allen Iverson, making like 20 million. And then everybody else kind of get in where you fit in.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned that Toronto team that lost to the Raptors on Saturday. It was also in the middle of a trade. And so they had a bunch of guys that just left the roster. OG Anunoby goes to New York. They send back a couple players. But just going through that moment in the NBA, a trade, kind of the moments right after, players bounce around all over the place.
That's a great question, man, because I was traded twice. And it comes with the territory. You got like 24 hours to 48 hours to report. Got to take a physical. If you don't pass the physical, the trade can be avoided, non-avoided, right? To where you go back, and then you go back to the team that didn't want you, but you still getting paid, right? And you gotta get in where you fit in and do what you do best, because you never know what's gonna happen in the NBA, because there's guys that come in on 10 days or a year, and next thing you know, they're not in the league anymore. You got to be on the right team, right situation, right coach, right everything. And speaking of coaches, I had 10 coaches in 11 years. I don't know if you know that.
Right?
I played 11 years and I had 10 coaches.
Can you name them all?
Yeah, actually. Rudy Tomjanovich in Houston, he was my only coach there. Larry Brown in Philly. Randy Ayers, the late Chris Ford, because he passed away. Bill O'Brien.
Dang.
Jim O'Brien or Bill O'Brien?
Bill O'Brien's a football coach. Yeah,
the Indiana coach. He actually came here for my golf tournament. And then I went to SAC. And then I had Reggie Theus.
I was going to say, Reggie was there, right?
Eric Musselman. Wow. Rick Alderman was the first one. I had Paul Westphal as my last one. And Kenny Knack.
Kenny Knack?
Yes, who coached in
How was Reggie to play for?
No comment.
All right, then. Mike.
Yeah, he's a state guy, no comment.
Mike wants to talk about defense in the NCAA. Hello, Mike. How you living?
Hey, Kenny, man, it's a pleasure, man. You're a main staple of Lobo basketball that I love listening to when you're on the air. Hey, question. I think the Lobos, fan-wise, are coming around to liking defense. Normally, everyone loves offense, big scoring, 3 points, all that. But I think we get bigger roars of the crowd when you see a steal and a dunk or just disruption of the ball. With our team height, do you think that it's almost necessary to go sideline to sideline with defense and just rotate out with the number of great players we have?
Thanks, Mike.
I feel like, obviously, when it comes down to fans and the crowd, right? In order for the fans to get in the game, there got to be some exciting play, right? This is where transition and dunks and different things come in. I totally agree with you. Defense and getting into guys is huge. That's where I think Toppin's energy is contagious, because I feel like guys like him being a part of this team now is getting guys to play more defense and be more aggressive.
This is where I feel, and you tell me if I'm wrong, the difference between college basketball and the NBA. Now, the NBA, the last few minutes of a game, defense gets tighter. I think back to some of the great teams in college basketball. And I think back to Nolan Richardson's 40 Minutes of Hell as Arkansas teams that were great defensively. I think back to some of the Dean Smith teams that played defense, the Krzyzewski teams, the Tom Izzo teams that played defense.
Yeah.
And more regionally and more recently, San Diego State. How has San Diego State made the brand that they've made, JJ? They've been at times they've been horrible offensively, but what they do defensively, and I think to Mike's point, Louisville fans are starting to realize, damn, defense at this level, at college basketball level, is a big deal, and
it can, you know what, it can get you by, because here's the thing. We have this conversation and people look at the NBA and like, they don't play defense, they didn't do that. There's, at the college level, it's the opposite sometimes. There's a lack of offensive skill.
Lack of offensive skill as far as college guys? Or?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's not the issue with this team.
Yeah.
But like, if you look at San Diego State, how have they done it over the last 2 decades? I mean, they've had a few, Malachi Flynn, Kawhi Leonard, and Kawhi Leonard was not a great offensive player in college. You can't name me great scorers at San Diego State, but for the last 20 years, they've been as good as there's been in Western basketball.
See, this is where you develop guys in college, because you don't really know until guys actually get older, like a Kawhi Leonard. And then he goes to the Spurs, where you have Popovich, who's a great coach that's allowing him to be him. Guys that come from college, do you think they necessarily are going to come into a role of being that guy right away?
No.
I don't think you know until you get drafted in like the top 10 or lottery.
But like you said, you fit where you fit, right?
Yeah. You got to get in where you fit in. When I first came in, I was shooting threes only. Like, we were ISOing in Houston. Me, Steve Francis, Katino Mobley, we were ISOing. And then sometimes I would post up on the block. And then I step off the block, turn and face, because I was shorter. So I had to take advantage of the different things that I had to succeed.
And you had to change your game because you played primarily a 5 in college.
See, but
back to the basket.
Remember, I played with my back to the basket, but if I didn't get the ball, if I didn't get the ball on the block right away, then it was a cross screen for me, and then a down screen for me. I came up to the top of the key, and I used to shoot threes and whatever.
I remember it was Daniel Santiago was on that team too.
He didn't play.
No, he didn't play at all.
That sucked because he was supposed to be the 5.
That's what I knew you want to play 4. Man. And if he'd have played 5, and he went on and had a good NBA career too.
Man, he's actually in Orlando working at a school.
Another local kid, Del Norte High School.
Yeah,
another, and that's one thing with those teams. And I know we're late. So
and then you got David Gibson. I'm good.
No, you're good.
You're you, my guy.
What's going on with Kenny Thomas? What do you got?
Man,
going? We got a show tonight.
I got me and JJ are launching the Lobo post game show tonight after the game. We'll be able to call in on KKOB. I will be posting it to my social media, Kenny Thomas NBA. We're gonna come up with the name for it and just see what happens. Barella's Coffee House.
Love that place.
They're totally sponsoring the whole thing.
Nice.
Yes,
Love
just
that
like my
place.
Ford guy came in, takes care of me. Capital Ford Santa
What do you have
Fe.
when you go over there? I always have red chili on my white shirt is what
It's
I have.
always on something. My pants or my shirt or something.
I can't get out of there without red chili.
I get Christmas. I get 2 eggs, bacon.
That's a good one.
I
I
stay
get the
consistent.
combo meal for lunch. It's an enchilada, taco, and burrito. It's a lot of food.
And then
That's why I'm so thick.
That's why I go to the gym, man.
I should do that.
And then at the same time, this past weekend, I just had the Kenny Thomas Jamboree Holiday Basketball Tournament. We had
Nice.
about 40 to 50 kids. Great turnout. I have some more basketball tournaments and different things coming up, which we'll be talking about in the future. I am on here until June.
All right, we'll see you Friday.
Yes, sir.
Have fun with tonight's game. We'll break down the game on Friday when we'll see you. We'll preview the Wyoming game. It is Kicking It with Kenny. Follow him on all his social media. It's Kenny Thomas NBA. He's here every Tuesday and Friday at 9 o'clock. We'll see you on Friday, my friend.
Appreciate you, my fellas.
It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal.
Say my name, say my name.
Well, every other station calls it the big game.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Ensure that you got my attention. CEO, baby, I give you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Santa Paws has left thousands of holiday gifts for your furry, scaly, and winged family members. Pick up a gift for a pet lover or even a new pet. Clark's has shelves full of pet beds, sweaters, toys and treats, habitats and tanks galore. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's is celebrating 50 years. Thanks to you, the Christmas Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a #1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been.
I mean, the other side of that is, well, at least you're getting paid. Well, yeah, but...
Yeah. Losing is not fun, especially when you're a professional athlete. I can only imagine.
Yeah, to that level, and you probably, most of these guys have won the majority of their lives.
Yeah, right? Probably we're the best, up until the pros.
You look at Cade Cunningham on that team at Oklahoma State and all the success that they had, you start saying, where's it coming from? All right, I got a bunch of emails from you, and we'll go through them. It's been a lot about what we've spoken about throughout the day. This is from Mean Machine. It says, where the snap's going to come from, Jeff. I'm not as heartbroken as Lobo fans over Aiden Armenta bailing. He probably saw the writing on the wall that he wasn't going to play much anyway, barring injury and going through 3 or 4 quarterbacks. He had been recruited above. It's from Mean Machine. All right. Devin Dampier was going to be the quarterback. Was he recruited above, or was he recruited around? Meaning, the new staff is going to bring in their people. I think Aiden Armenta can play at this level.
Right now, with the depth chart as is and what we've seen, I think he could have been QB2 for this team.
I do too. No, I absolutely do. DC Tabscott came in from Appalachian State, and he was initially the number 2, but obviously Devin Dampier became the number, kind of not even just 2, but 1A or 1B, right? So, yeah, I'm interested to see where Aiden goes, and I'm a big fan of the way he plays and the way he throws the football, and of him and of the family, and so. Let's see what else we got in here. Ken says, universal truth, the world needs new ref. Just once on a Monday or Tuesday morning, I'd like to talk about something that wasn't decided by bad officiating. Is this the week leagues finally wake up and decide to do something about the refs? It's from Ken. Ken, I go back to this. What do you want them to do? The Lions Cowboys game is what you're talking about, and they made a mistake. They missed. What do you? They got to do something. What do you do? I'm listening to suggestions. What would you do? I mean, the easy answer is there's got to be a better way in that situation to report. Now, have we ever had an issue like this before? I can't recall one. Can you?
If you have humans making calls, they're going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it was on a potentially game deciding play late with just only seconds left. And you can say, yes, Cowboys had 20 seconds, timeouts, CeeDee Lamb was on fire. Yeah, but then the Lions would say we would have been in the lead. And we'll take our chances trying to keep you out of field goal range.
Oh, that's right.
And the only thing you can do, and the only thing I've heard people say, well, this is what the NFL needs, is full-time referees.
But okay, even if you have full-time referees, are you telling me that means they're not going to make a mistake? Yeah. If you had full-time referees, would that have avoided the referee missing somehow, the one guy reporting when they brought 3 guys over there? I'm sure it was an honest mistake. I don't think dude had money on the Cowboys. It was a mistake. It was a costly one. It's going to end up being.
And everyone is, what's the penalty? What's the penalty? Well, dude's probably not going to get to do a playoff game if there's a line to do that.
That's probably right. Yes, that's the penalty. What's the penalty when your dude drops a pass in the end zone? What's the penalty when your left tackle gets flagged for holding on a long touchdown that would have decided the game? What's the penalty when your quarterback throws an interception? No, honestly, what's the penalty? Should he be fired? No, if they do it over and over and over again, yeah, then they're going to lose their jobs. You guys, what's the penalty when pick your job? What do you do, man? When you screw up at work, what's the penalty? Well, everybody doesn't see it. It didn't cost the Lions the number 2 seed. I got it. I hate it that the way it happened. I thought it was horrible. And you sit there and go, how can this happen? But there's got to be a lot of things at your job that you've messed up before. Somebody's messed up. You're like, how does that happen? Well, it's human error, man. We made a mistake. What's the penalty? What should happen to the referee? I don't know, man. He's going to get disciplined. He'll get a verbal reprimand. Like JJ said, he might not get to do a playoff game. But what happens? What's the penalty when the quarterback throws an interception with the game on the line? What's the penalty when you misfiled that document and the big deal didn't get done? You get fired? Just asking. Omar says Cowboys in Washington, senior night at RFK Stadium. Jeff, can you see why Omar is so concerned? Washington coach will run down the ramp in a cherry blazer. Beating the NFL's most outstanding organization is their New Mexico Bowl. Win, and they feel good about themselves going into the offseason. Omar. Omar's nervous about going to Washington. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Easton Stick versus Jared Stidham. That's what we watched yesterday, right? Or if you watched it, that's what you saw. Just like the OD drew it up in September, Jeff. It's from Gopher. Yeah, a little different than the OD grew it up in December. HB's going to save bowl season for you, JJ. This is the season of disgusting, nasty, stinky bowls. Bernie of the Sun Bowl should be embarrassed. It's only going to get worse, not better. How long is it going to be before a bowl is canceled because between injuries and defections, teams won't have enough bodies to field a squad? College is becoming as unwatchable as the Pro Bowl. There were some bad ones and there were some good ones, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, look, it's certainly a point of conversation of what to do and how to get it done. And, the portal being extended probably would be the answer, right?
Yes. Because right now, officially, the portal is December 4th through January 3rd.
It's bowl season, man.
And so it's going to have a direct impact on bowl season.
Yeah, that's literally right there in the heart of it, and it's affected, what you've watched. Now, did we watch 2 great college football semifinals last night? We did, and you're hoping you're going to get more of that in the playoff next year. But what's it going to mean for the bowl games? We'll see. Which game stood out to you more last night? The overtime game between Alabama and Michigan, or the game that went down to the final, seemingly the final play between Washington and Texas? They were both great. They were good.
think Michigan, Alabama stood out more to me because I never felt like Texas was in it. Even at the end, all the bricks should go on their way. I didn't think Quinn Ewers was going to get it done. Quinn Ewers, good quarterback. You got your team to the CFP semifinals, but he's just. I didn't think he was going to be able to make that flow. He's a flipper.
See, I felt the other way. The game that'll stand out to me more is the late game, because as much as I thought Washington dominated, I thought I never had the feeling they were going to win until it was over. I was certain Texas was going to come back and flip something up there, and like you said, some sort of fade like they tried. And what a great play by the DB to knock it away on fourth down. But they get the break on the Washington running back hurting himself or getting hurt and stopping the clock and saving them 37, 38 seconds. They get the break on the long snapper going down and interfering with the fair catch to give him another 15 yards. Then they get the Quinn Ewers scramble. And I just like, here we go, man. This is a team that basically was dominated all day, and they're going to win. This is going to be one of those crazy, crazy, crazy games that makes no sense when you walk away. And Washington defense buckled up and held it. That's the game that I'll remember more. But the other one, I mean, overtime, and I mean, it was great too.
It was a good way for the CFP semifinals of that era to go out.
All right, when we come back, I'll wrap it up. Everything you got to know as you go through your day. You got a big one tonight. Lobos open up conference play at Colorado State, the 13th ranked team in the country. And any correspondence that you've got is still welcome at 505-246-0610. It's the opening drive. Glad you're with us on the 2nd of January, the first show of 2024. On 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal, your home for Sunday night, Monday night, Thursday night football, and Super Bowl 58.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
What, Moby Arena in Colorado Springs, Colorado? No, that's not right. It's in Fort Collins, Colorado. Let me do that again. Robert Portnoy, Hunter Green from Albertsons Market, Radio Row, Moby Arena in Fort Collins, Colorado. 8:30 tip. It's on FS1 if you'd like to watch it. Post-game show over on News Radio KKOB, call-in show with Kenny Thomas and J.J. Buck. Actually, it's J.J. Buck and Kenny Thomas. I mean, he didn't just get to walk in here and get top billing, does he?
Yes, he does.
I got
yes,
it, man.
He
He's
does.
Kenny Thomas. And
there's certain things. There's Jeff Simieta. It's Kenny Thomas. Headliners. I don't know, man. Walk in, take over.
Is that how that works?
Yes.
Kenny's been pretty good, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Of course, it's been fun hanging out with Kenny.
His stuff.
He called, and by the way, he's 2 for 2. He called Baltimore over San Francisco.
Did he? Okay.
DC was there for that one, and then he had Dallas over Detroit. Big game, Kenny. Picking winners.
All right. Text line on what to do with the officials. I've said it before. The way to eliminate human error is to eliminate the humans. How do you officiate that game with no humans? No, honestly, you could have a robotic strike zone, but how do you... I mean, even when we're going to replay, we're staring at, I don't know, did he get it split down, slow it down, frame by frame? Okay, but is the ball moving? Like, You can't unless I don't know something. And there's plenty I don't know. This says, I don't think there should be referees or umpires or anything. Just let the cameras and the AI do it all. Okay. Mud says, Happy New Year, says Mud. Lobos by 1 tonight. Up at Colorado State. And then Terry says, same crew blew the pass interference call in the Kansas City game. Waiting for the meme with the ref getting fitted for his blazer for the Ring of Honor. Okay, that's all there for you. What do you got to know as you go through your day? What's everybody going to be talking about as you go to Starbucks or go to the bar, or go to lunch, or go to the... Do we still have water coolers? The coffee break room?
We've got a water cooler.
We do have a water cooler, huh?
Yes, we do.
Cools the water.
Keeps it cool.
Yeah.
Also keeps it warm.
The water warmer?
I think that's technically correct.
All right. The water warmer cooler. Michael Penix Jr. led the Huskies of Washington to a victory over Texas in the college football playoff semifinal in the Sugar Bowl. Huskies had to hold off a late drive, 37-31. Meanwhile, at the Rose Bowl, Nick Saban says we shot ourselves in the foot. Alabama gets beat in overtime by Michigan. It will be Michigan and Washington in the college football playoff championship a week from yesterday, next Monday in Houston. It is the 1-seed Wolverines, the 2-seed Washington Huskies. There are only 2 undefeateds left, right? Liberty was undefeated. They are hardly undefeated. Boy, did they get smoked, by the way, in the Fiesta Bowl yesterday, huh?
Yes.
Did get an email on that. I got to find it for you. Auburn sure was quite... Okay, this is the guy who... here, you got your hater? Your haterade?
The strength schedule guy who's been going back and forth about...
How bad the Aggies are?
And how bad the Aggies are. And
yeah, strength of schedule guy. Auburn sure was quite the juggernaut this year. That victory against them was huge. LOL. How about that Liberty team that cruised undefeated through that rugged Conference USA schedule? There you go. There's your haterade. Couldn't get through a whole day without a hater email, can we? I mean, or that was a text, but there's your guy who had a hate on whatever New Mexico State did. They were 10-5, right? We haven't talked about this. Diego Pavia is in the transfer portal. I guess I haven't been in since Jerry.
You haven't talked about any of this.
So where'd you guys end up with the whole Jerry Kill thing and Diego in the portal and all that? And are you good with Tony Sanchez? Has Tony been on yet?
No, I reached out, but
all right, I'll reach out.
I think because you're Jeff Simbietti, you could get that done. It's one where initially, Mario Mocha, the AD at New Mexico State, is like, we want Tony Sanchez because we want to keep continuity. It doesn't matter. Like, dudes are going in the portal. When you have a coaching change like that, you could just promote whatever assistant coach you need. Like, they're going to have a lot of work.
Did Diego surprise you?
No. Because I think once the Jerry Kill news came out that he was stepping down, I think it was wide open.
It was just a free-for-all for everybody.
Yeah.
Nevada's been interesting. I've heard all kinds of different spots on him. I don't know where he ends up. Do you want to see him in the Mountain West?
Well, he's reportedly got an offer from Washington State.
Yeah, I've heard that too. Now, Washington State's going to be an interesting one because they're playing a Mountain West schedule. In fact, they're here next year, if I'm not mistaken. Washington State will play. I'm just saying. Lobos played at Nevada this year. Did they get them? Is that a return next year? I don't know how the Mountain West schedule is going to look next year because you're throwing in these different teams, and I don't know.
Well, they posted it, but we just have to run it. Like, we can go look at all those dates for it.
All right. I'm not going to lie. So Jerry stepping down didn't surprise me. How about this? It didn't stun me. A little bit surprised. I will say a little surprised. It didn't stun me, and it makes a lot of things make sense. Right? Diego in the portal doesn't surprise me, and it wouldn't surprise me if he came back. I think he's out there realizing, okay, this may be the year this may be the most money I ever make playing football. Do you think he's a pro?
I don't.
I do not either. Okay? I think he's a good college football player. And this may be the year that he can maximize his earning potential as a football player. And so do you go, I don't want to necessarily say the highest bidder, but the best situation. And it could be New Mexico State, right? But I don't blame him for going out there and testing it. Now, I don't know where Tony Sanchez is on if you go in the portal, you're not welcome back, right? Like Bronco Mendenhall, Danny Gonzalez is. But if Diego Pavia says, well, you know what, I
would say this might be one of those exceptions
when you
to
say
the rule. Yes.
So
isn't that the conference offensive player of the year?
But you see where I'm going with this? Like, that's why it doesn't surprise me that here's an opportunity for this young man to maximize what he can make playing football. Because and
even if Jerry Hill remained, like maybe that keeps Pavia in place, but these other guys are going to test the water.
I think that's right.
Like, it's just the way it is. Because whatever New Mexico State, New Mexico does, their best players are testing the water.
Every year.
Yeah.
Every year. It's going to be really hard to keep the continuity going, no matter who the coach is, because this is where you are. Are there going to be better NIL deals? Are there going to be better collectives? And this is where I think over the next 2 to 5 years, the evolution of collectives, the sustainability of collectives, the evolution of the NIL, does it go to the schools? Like there's that proposal, right? How does this all play out is really going to be interesting, because I saw something north of 3,000 players in the transfer portal. Is that right? 3,200 or something crazy that there were that many. And I don't know if it's crazy. It's just, I mean, it's a number that gets your attention, does it not? I want to say I heard 3,200 players the other day in the transfer portal. I know you're looking it up and I appreciate that. But that's just the way it's going to be, man. And does it surprise you that anybody goes
Is that like overall football?
I don't know.
Because I'm looking at On3 right now.
Yeah, what do you got?
And they have 1,914.
Is that just active, or is that all of them?
Entered.
Entered.
Yeah.
So you're looking at about 2,000. Okay. Yeah, and I was trying to remember where I heard the number. So, okay, let's just say it's 2,000.
That's so many people, man.
133 Division I teams. I mean, what's your number?
1,914.
1,914 divided by 133 is 14.39 players per team. I mean,
yeah.
And Michigan's guys and all the teams left still haven't gone in. All right, thanks to Kenny Thomas for being with us today. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On comes your way at 4 o'clock. You guys want to come back tomorrow morning and do it again at 7?
Heck yeah.
Good to see you guys. I missed you.
We missed you, Jeff.
DC, great work. Adrian looks great on the video side. Big day for you. Long day.
Huge day.
JJ's back with Kenny on News Radio KKB after the Lobo game. Enjoy it. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We will smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Rosendo Najar here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indy Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.